All right, there will be bourbon. I have plenty of it. I don't know if my guest Brandon Neely does. You drinking anything tonight, my man?
Yeah, dude. I was gonna
All
bring
right.
some Larceny on for
Where?
pickle,
Yeah,
but
for
uh,
pickle with
but I
his
decided to go with something that was actually cheap and pretty good. The old Granddad 114. So
nice. That is solid. I was about to pick one of those up this weekend because I'm trying to do that. Fred Minnick, I don't know if you know who he is, but he just
oh
posted.
yeah.
Yeah, so he posted that 10 best bourbons under $40. Well, that should be under 40. And that was one of the ones on there. So I got most of his list, but I was going to try and recreate that. But anyway, before I introduce who Brandon is, obviously this is a discussion fueled by bourbon. I am going with two Colonels tonight. We got two Colonel Taylors, right? So the difference is one is the normal one, right? And then my buddy got me this. It is the Colonel Taylor, the single barrel pick from Bounty Hunter, a store here in Napa. So we're going to compare and contrast as this night gets going, but that's what I'm imbibing with. So Brandon Neely, what's that?
I thought about going with the small batch, the EA Taylor. You can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong with the Taylor. Again, this is one of those things that, and I see you post a lot of bourbon stuff that you find now, but I don't know how long it's been since you got into this stuff, but this is one of the ones I remember. Like this should be on every liquor store for like $40.
Yeah, that's what it is. $40.
Yeah. And it was, and now Eagle Rare is going the same route. It used to be on every liquor store for like $20, 20 or about 25, 30.
Yeah.
Now you can't find any of this stuff. It's stupid. Anyways, I'll rant about that in a bit. But first of all right. So you were a former Army military policeman.
Yep.
All right. You went to Egypt. You've been to Cuba, Iraq, and you were one of the first to speak publicly about Guantanamo Bay, correct?
That is true. Yeah.
All right. So what was that discussion about? What prompted that?
Man, really just when I got out of the Army, I guess just seeing a lot of stuff on the news that wasn't true. About what was going on in GTMO and man, really like fuck it, like I guess to really break news right here, not really news. I've told a few people, but what really happened was, some of the shit bothered me, whatever. But man, I got contacted by these reporters, and dude, basically when Obama got elected around that time, early on, like right during the right during the general election with him and McCain. I don't know if you remember, there was that big push for the Truth and Reconciliation Committee to Iraq War. And dude, basically they were going to charge a bunch of low-level soldiers that were at Gitmo. And these reporters got a hold of these emails and memos have been back and forth, and names were on the list. And they reached out to a handful of us. And basically I just went out and told the story before we got jammed up, before they just blamed a handful of us.
Were you on that list?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. For sure. Yeah. Yeah, there's like 12 of us, and we're all low-level guys.
Okay. What were they?
And then basically reached out to the UC Davis Project and did an interview, and it just kind of took off from there. I mean, basically it was just it wasn't even really a charge sheet, just basically I have it. I mean, basically it's kind of like the stuff they did at Abu Ghraib, but I mean, we didn't do nothing to that extent. Basically, basic abuse and stuff like that. But yeah, we're all low-level guys. It made it seem like from the wording, like we just went on our own to do it.
Right. And there's never anybody in charge.
No, and we did sign an NDA when we left. I've always been very adamant about that and how it went, and I broke the NDA and spoke or whatever. But that's something like I don't think I've ever really talked about. I know I've talked to people in private about it, but it's one of those things I always kept close to the vest. But over the years, kind of thing, everything's died down. I really haven't had to worry about any blowback, so I don't give a shit anymore.
Did you get any blowback from breaking the NDA?
Dude, a lot of empty threats. I had a group of lawyers at the time. A lot of, he needs to stop, or we're going to charge him with, everything. They threw away the treason word, but I think that was more of a scare tactic.
Yeah.
Sean Hannity called me a treasonous something one time.
Oh, did he call?
Yeah. Well, he called me
honor then there, right there.
He called me a loudmouth Gitmo guard. And that's why I always had it in my bio. So I just kind of like own it, right? Like, fuck it. But yeah, other than that, like nothing. I really wasn't too concerned about it either. I think more in my personal life, with family and work and stuff, it had more of an effect on me. But when you do something like that, you kind of, if you don't think that stuff's going to happen, you're not thinking about it or smart enough to realize it's going to happen.
Is there a bigger loudmouth though than Sean Hannity?
I don't think so. I think he's pretty loud.
My contempt for media personalities is pretty fair across the board, but Hannity's one that I don't know. I had a friend that described his style as dumbed down conservatism, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just bumper sticker stuff that he just repeats every 15 minutes, which resonates with a lot of people in America, right? So, 15 minutes is probably the far end of the spectrum on most people's attention span. All right, so you left GTMO. How long were you there? Was that your last tour?
Nah, man, I was only there 6 months. That was early on. That was 2002, January 2002 to middle of June. I just happened to be one of the first handful of people there on day one. Okay. So our company, we're the only active duty MP company out of Fort Hood at the time. So we get the call. I had been back to Egypt for like 6 weeks. I volunteered. I thought I was going to go to Afghanistan when I volunteered for the deployment.
Yeah.
You remember at the time, you were in at the same time, right? Like 2002, 2001.
I came in 2002, January of 2002.
Okay, yeah. So about the time right after 9/11 had just happened, everybody was ready to go to war. Like, fuck it, let's go.
Right.
And I was going to Afghanistan and then realized I was going to GTMO a few days later. And I was moved companies or whatever, and was there. And 2 days later, the first detainees arrived, and I happened to be the first handful of soldiers that were there escorted the second guy off the bus, and we're there for the first 6 months. And the rest of the units, there were reserve units that showed up a few weeks later, about 6 weeks later. But it was definitely weird because at the time before we left Fort Hood, we were straight told that there was no SOPs or the Geneva Convention wasn't in effect. That weird this hadn't been done before, because they weren't prisoners of war. They were just detainees. Yeah, it was weird.
How'd you feel about that?
At the fucking time, I didn't give a shit.
Yeah, when you were young,
and to be fucking honest, man, like, I guess when a lot of people get to know me, especially the guys I've met on Twitter, like people automatically think because I've said one thing that I'm just like really far left, or I'm really not. It's just like some of the shit that went there was fucked up, but do I disagree with? I mean, shit, something had to be done, right? But the way we went about it was wrong. But I didn't really have a lot of sympathy for people.
No, back then the same, because I went to Iraq when I was 22. I turned 23 over there, and
same.
Yeah. You don't think. Because it's a great point you bring up, because now, we sit here and think about, second, third order effects, all that shit. What do you do and how does that affect? But in that moment, especially when you're that young, I mean, I couldn't even imagine what I would have been like if I was fucking 17 or 18. I'd have been even dumber, right? But just in that moment, you don't take the time to even think about the next day, let alone, how does this look?
And especially too, I can remember being at Fort Hood, getting dressed for PT and watching the tower get hit. Like I can remember, like yesterday, I was putting my boots on, and we didn't have cable in my room, but I shared the bathroom, and the guy opened. He's like, "Hey, y'all need to come check out the TV." And then, 45 minutes later, I was at the East Gate at Fort Hood, and we were there for 24 hours, searching every car coming in.
That's fucking.
And then, you're pissed off. Then you're told you're going here to babysit a bunch of fucking terrorists.
Yeah.
And dude, and you think, and you're first, I'm pissed off that I'm there and not going to Afghanistan, right? Because where you want to go, you want to go. And dude, and I really thought 100% everybody there was guilty as hell, and we were told every day like these guys would kill us and shit. Like, and we know this is a front line. Like what intel we can get from these guys is gonna stop the next attack or whatever. So it's like, I don't care what we do or how it happens.
Do you know of anything that you got from them, if it impacted?
No clue. Just from reports that's come out over the years, of not a whole lot's come out from it. A lot of people were bought for bounties and stuff like that. Kind of like, you remember early on in Iraq how the neighbor would turn in the guy he didn't like, and you would take him down and put him in the fucking detention still. Yeah, and it was like, they'd get paid for it, and a lot of that happened. Were there badass guys that held at GTMO? Yeah, you got guys like KSM, they're still sitting there.
Right.
And it's been 20 years, and they're just nothing's been done.
That's kind of fucked up, though, don't you think?
Oh yeah, like if they would have just fucking either not, dude, just why'd you even bring him in?
Right.
Fuck it, like just finish it. I mean, we're 20 years, or at the very least, if you had to put him in the federal court system, you'd have been done with him. He'd probably been executed by now.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back on all the reasons why that they never did that. I think I remember, actually, it was the loudmouth dude we just mentioned. Hannity was always making this case against it, from what I remember. I don't want to say something's set in stone. Like, yeah, he definitely was like against that, but I'm pretty sure he was one of the ones where I heard it from. And I thought his case, I'm trying to think of how he like to make it, because he didn't want to make it seem like they were afforded constitutional rights if you tried them in the federal court system, which I get because they're not Americans. They weren't
exactly,
whatever. But yeah, it's a very odd position for people in general to be in, because I always try to look at it now at what if the tables get turned or they're flipped? I was having this conversation with someone a few weeks ago, because I don't know how this sits with you, but just on the like private property to me, I feel like is a very important thing, whether it's ours or it's another country's or whatever. And I just I think the first story I read was Germany seized one of those mega fucking yachts from some Russian oligarch, right?
Yeah, I saw
in
that.
Germany in a port. And I'm just thinking like, how is that legal?
Yeah.
Or because you don't like the Russian imperialism or whatever the fuck it is going on in Ukraine. Got it. Okay. You can't just, and I get everyone's argument is like, oh, they support Putin. They do this. Okay, maybe they do. But at the same time, that's still a fucking citizen. That's not,
you're taking
he's not a representative of the fucking Putin army or some shit or whatever you're trying to, like, you're not hurting him by taking that man's fucking yacht. He's still going to do whatever the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I was just kind of like, I was making that argument like, hey, this sets a precedent, a bad one, because who's going to say that we're in the position to just snag people's shit forever? What if those tables get turned and someone's like, all right, we'll just snag fucking Americans' property overseas.
Yeah.
Right. If you're in Germany or you have your property there, or you bought and invested in property in another country, like so many of these countries do, what's to stop them from repossessing it?
Yeah, it goes both ways. Just like I thought about that too as I got older, like just the way we treated people there as well. If it was the tables were turned, people here, they'd be ready to fucking nuke other countries. And I mean, I agree with you on that one. Yeah, I've often wanted that shit the same.
Yeah. And so I guess that kind of, so you finished that. You were in Gitmo for 6 months, and then you ended up going to Egypt and then Iraq, or how that?
No, I went to Egypt first part of like right after 9/11. I was on a physical security detail, me and 11 other guys for General Metz. It was at a 3-quarter hood at the time. We were supposed to go to Operation Bright Star. Then when 9/11 happened, they kind of like nixed Bright Star, but we still went there. And dude, we stayed at the Hilton the whole time, downtown in Cairo. The part that sucked was after 9/11, we weren't allowed to go out, but I mean, we stayed on a 5-star resort, had restaurants, and whenever you went out, we wore BDUs the day we got there and the day we left for 4 months. So it was like a great deployment. And then came back, and I was back about 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and then went to Cuba. Came back in June, and then February, early part of March of 2003 is when we left for Iraq.
So when you were in Cuba, did you get to actually do anything outside of Gitmo? Or
it was fucking like, we didn't leave like Guantanamo, but like the base was, we had gyms, and at the time, like the first month or two, we were the only unit there. So shit, Gitmo was getting ready to be closed down before that happened. So like, man, we had free range of the bowling alley, the gym. Dude, we spent so much time. Like, I got my scuba diving license when I was there. I've never done it since. But
isn't that weird?
We drank
in another
country
the whole time. Really? Okay. So you were, Because I was gonna say, isn't it kind of weird to just like, hey, this is ours, but we're on this fucking island of a country that.
And then man, you get to meet some of the local people that work on the base. And they would bring us, Cuban rum and all kinds of stuff from off, and we'd pay for it. And they had a tiki bar there. And for like $250, like we'd pitch in, we could rent the tiki bar for like 4 hours a night or 6 hours a night and just shut it down and invite who we wanted. And we had free reign of the bar. So it was like.
Those are good stories. That's what I want to hear.
Dude. But it was a great deployment. We'd work 8 to 12 hours a day once it was set up the first 2 months. And we worked 5 days a week, and we were off 2 days a week.
That's the life right there.
Yeah, dude. And we're right there on the beach too. Like we could literally just walk out and be on the beach. So as far as that goes, like it wasn't horrible at all. We spent our time like water skiing, fishing, camping out on the islands. Like it wasn't bad at all.
So no one from the Cuban government or anyone would try to fuck with y'all, or?
No, but dude, we did have these dudes in our fucking unit that just hammered one night, and they had this island you could go camp out. And they got on their fucking boat, and they ended up in Cuban waters.
Oh, shit.
And fucking mind. And dude, they got escorted back, and it became like a whole fucking situation.
An incident. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was shit was hilarious because they're like, dude, we're going to fucking prison.
We're going right here. We're gonna actually be in Gitmo now.
Yeah, I can remember them talking about like the base commander having to call the Cuban government, apologize and all shit, dude. It was just funny. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, you would at that point, but
Yeah. I'm glad, but I wasn't one of those guys either.
Making that phone call is not gonna be so funny.
No, but they got escorted back, and they were talking about like these motherfuckers had 50 cows on their boats and shit, and I'm like, dude, you were in the Cuban waters. What the fuck?
Yeah, I gotta imagine how that must feel. Cause I think back at that. Remember that fucking Navy vessel that got boarded by the Iranians for a while?
Yeah, and they all gave up.
Yeah. It's another story, I guess. We should track down one of those fuckers and see, hey, what was the thought process? Why not just go? Whatever.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, I remember seeing.
Why not just go out? Fuck it.
I'm like, what a fucking picture to have out there.
Seriously.
On your knees, your hands behind your head.
I don't know. I don't think I could do it. I try to put myself in that position, and I want to say I would do some certain things, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I could put myself in that position because you're not even supposed to, really.
Dude, I grew up in Huntsville in Texas, right? Like a small town. And we had a guy there when I was probably 14, 15 in Bosnia. Him and a guy went on he was from the town. He graduated from the high school and the college. They went on top of a hill in Bosnia and got captured.
What?
And the pictures came out like, they had just like went on their knees and gave up. But I remember them holding parades and shit for it. My dad's retired Army. He's like, this dude's a fucking coward. He just gave up, and I was like, yeah. And they were holding parades for this kid and everything. So
fuck that shit.
Yeah, dude. It was like fucking like mid 90s or some shit, early 90s.
I'm gonna have to go do some research. I wish I had a producer. I'd tell my cat over here that's asleep and be like, hey, Google that shit. That fucking cat's useless. So when did you go to Iraq?
2003, man. March of 03, and I left March of 04.
Oh shit, we overlapped.
Yeah.
Where were you at?
Shit, man. We started off coming up, and we spent some time coming up. We spent a little time in Anajaf, then Baghdad when it first was early on. Biop. We were part of Biop. Then we went to Tikrit and Mosul, a little bit of Mosul, but basically Tikrit, Samara area, Balad, right in that triangle at the time.
Yeah, you got to see the whole kind. Good for you.
Yeah, but the first 3 weeks or so, we spent a lot of time at Biop. We were running you remember when Rumsfeld came? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, that's when that specialist spoke up about the fucking armor on the Humvees and shit.
Yeah, when he first came, like we did his escort. Like I was on his.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, I was his advance vehicle. We had the Secret Service with us, and they were pissed, man. I'll never forget the guys getting off, and he wouldn't wear a vest, and he ran with his window down, and he wanted an MP5, and we had to we went downtown to.
Wait, Rumsfeld wanted an MP5?
Yeah, he had an MP5, and so we were the lead vehicle, so the advance vehicle, so we went in front, right? And when Humvee was just me, my squad leader, platoon sergeant, and the Secret Service agent was in charge. He just talked so much shit about him, like, man, if he gets fucking shot, it's on him. He won't listen to us. He's rolling with his window down, no vest on, MP5 in his hand, like fuck him. And we went to Interior Health or the Red Cross building downtown Baghdad.
Yeah.
And dude, we got lit up coming down there, and they said he put that window up so fucking fast. And we had these JTAC guys with us that just called in fire. But it was funny just to hear them talk shit about him. And that's the second time I had met him. I met him at Cuba too. He coined me, and then he coined me there too.
How was it? Did you what kind of vibe?
Dude, he was fucking like, you see him on TV, all this shit, people talk about him, but he was just like just a regular dude, like thanks for your service, kind of like talk to us. And like when I met Bush too, Junior, when I was at Hood, we used to go down to San Antonio, and when he used to go down to the ranch, and we'd have to watch Air Force One for the week when he was at the ranch, and he'd always talk to us when he got there, and he would talk to us when he left, and he was fucking just chill, he would stop and talk to us for an hour. He'd come to the house we were at and just talk.
That's pretty cool. How you guys puts a little more...
It was fucking crazy. Like you just think, because it's the fucking president, he's just kind of like chill out, like he's just talking. And I remember one of the guys, he was just like, "Oh, y'all could ask me anything you want." And the guy in my platoon was like, "Man, do you have a PlayStation or Xbox on that Air Force One, dude?" And then he's like, "Man, I'm a little busy. I don't have time to be playing video games." And I was like, "Man, the fact he even know those were video games."
Yeah.
A little credit my thing. But
I think it'd be funnier if he'd be like, "Yeah, I fucking play Call of Duty every night. What's up?"
Yeah, dude. I still have some because they gave us tours from the Secret Service guys. They had Secret Service guys at the steps all the time, and we just did like the perimeter patrol around the thing. And they would give us tour, like took us on the plane. And dude, I still got like M&Ms from the Air Force One and the menus and shit. You know, you just keep that shit over the years. It's like,
yeah, that's pretty cool.
I still see the shit in there. Yeah,
that's cool, man. You should probably now it'd been good to ask him what his favorite bourbon was. That'd be a good one.
No shit. Yeah,
or Texan, right? He's from Texas, right? Or is he from? Wait.
Yeah, I hope he's not drinking the Texas bourbon, dude. I've never, other than Garrison Brothers, which is decent, there is no good Texas bourbon.
Well, I'm glad you said that because the first.
And I've tried everything, dude, and it's fucking. I've spent so much money on bullshit bourbon, like because you want to try this, and it's like it's fucking 9-month-old bourbon, or it's like people in Texas think because it's hotter that it can age it 21 months or 22 months, and it's fucking fine, dude. It's not, man. It's shit. How that shit work.
You need the cold to pull it back out of the fucking barrel.
Dude, that's why shit from Kentucky and that area is so much better. Like you can tell a huge difference.
Oh yeah. So the first barrel I ever had of Garrison Brothers, it was a bottle from 2016. And I remember the first time I got it, I was like, hey, why is this shit so fucking expensive? Like what's so goddamn special about it? Right. And I remember trying it and I was like, wow, this is actually really fucking good. I thought that bottle was very good. And then the second time I had it was literally probably 4 years later. I was in a bar in Vegas and it tasted like fucking cereal grains to me. Like it tasted really young and just, I felt like I was drinking some fucking alcoholic cereal and I hated it. I don't like grain forward bourbon. I don't like to taste that stuff. To me, all that tells me is that it's really young. That's it. And then I went to a Balcones. I think that's it. A taste of Balcones. Couple years back before this COVID shit shut our bourbon group down, and none of the balcony stuff I liked. I hated all of it.
Dude, I'm not a balcony. People love that shit down here.
I don't know why. They probably haven't had anything else.
The only Garrison Brothers that I don't mind, but it's fucking expensive, is the Valor one. You know the one I'm talking about.
It's the only one I haven't tried because I never see it.
Dude, it's $175 a fucking bottle. I do have one, dude. I'm just fucking, but it's like if something good happens or something, it's like your celebration bottle.
Yeah,
it's fucking good. The other shit I can't stand. Like it's too young or it's too. But it's not worth $175.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Like they're not even. It's not even. I don't even consider them a craft distiller at this point. No. Like they're charging way too much for something that's not really. It's not like a superior product at all. And that's why I laugh, because stuff like this, right? And I get it. The distilleries that we like, Buffalo Trace has been around since the fucking 300 goddamn years almost. But the stuff that they produce, like this.
Oh, that shit is fucking.
So when I was at the distillery, this was in the shop.
Yeah.
Right. Now, gift shop, we know it always marks shit up. But even in the gift shop, I think it was only like 47.
It's still worth 47.
Right? That's what it should be, right? But
goes for 180.
I go to Garrett. Yeah, it goes for, I got this actually I got this at Bounty Hunter, the same place that got that single barrel, and I got it for 100 there, which is about as much as I'd spend on this stuff because it's good. But any of the Buffalo Trace stuff, once you get over $100, I'm only doing that for like Stag Junior or any of those allocated shit that you'll never see for less than $500-600 and up.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
But yeah. So you're from Texas.
Dude, I've lived here since I was 11. I grew up I was born at Fort Benning, then I grew up at Fort Knox till I was 10, 11. Then my dad,
Kentucky,
we moved down here. Yeah. So when I was 11.
Bourbon, dude? Was your dad into bourbon when he was at Knox?
I didn't get into it until about 5 years ago. Yeah. And literally, man, I was with some buddies and I was like, I didn't really drink. I still don't drink a whole lot. I'm a cow, but dude, I just got addicted to like the stories in the bourbon. Then I really grew to like it.
Yeah.
We're out drinking one night, and a buddy of mine had drank. He got a flight. We were at like a whiskey cake somewhere, and he had Old Forester 1920.
That's
he's all like, "Man, take a sip of this." I took it, and I was just like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Man, it's high proof, but it just tastes real good." And I bought a whole pour of it, and dude, then I went home and started looking it up where I could get a bottle. And next thing, I just went down the rabbit hole, man.
Yeah, there you go. So welcome. I'm glad you're in
and next thing I knew, like I'm going out and I'm like, Googling what bottles to start a collection with. And you get in these groups and just go down a fucking rabbit hole. And dude, I tell people all the time, like the bourbon's great, but like the people you meet, like the liquor store people you meet, like the owners, like the local people and the people that are in the groups, like, dude, they're just genuine. It's just like a good community to be a part of. And the stories of some of the barrels or the bottles that are true, because we were talking about that. Not so much fucking bullshit. Is like the ones that are true, right? Like it's pretty cool in the history on it. Like, have you ever seen that documentary on Hulu called Neat?
Yeah, I watched that a few years ago.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking good. Yeah, like
Yeah.
the history of it, and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it just I don't know, man. The stories behind it, it just like I remember, like fuck, dude, you get a bunch of boys together, crack a bottle of bourbon, and just fucking hang out.
That's what we did. I was up for training up in Mount Shasta last week, and yeah, I bought a bottle of it because there's one liquor store in the whole town, and he's got some of the allocated stuff, but it's in his little. He's displaying it, but it's my private collection that I'm displaying, so I won't sell it to you type of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, that's cool. But anyway, I just picked up the fucking bottle of Buffalo Trace because you can't go wrong with it. And just 6 of us sat around, a couple hours, that bottle was gone, and passed out. But we had great stories, great times. And so my favorite story, I don't know if you've heard this one. Right? Have you done the Bourbon Trail at all in Kentucky?
No, dude, that's like the fucking thing I want to do, though.
Yeah, I would highly recommend that. The problem is, man, you need to spend some time there because it's not like going to see some wineries where you can do 3 or 4 in a day, maybe 4, usually 3. You do distilleries, man, like you're going to get, and they're so far apart. Like none of them are nearby. Like you can't walk to the next one like you can with fucking wineries out here in Napa. But so anyway, like apparently, I can't remember which one it was. I don't know if Willett told me this story or if it was Jim Beam. But anyway, so when they first started, they would ship the bourbon down the fucking river. Is it the Louisville River? Whatever the fuck it is. Whatever river that is. I'm totally brain blanking here. So they would ship the stuff down from Louisville on the river down to New Orleans. And, they had these bandits waiting for them to come back up along the route to go back up. Because at the time, the steam engine hadn't been developed, or the steam ferries or whatever haven't been developed yet to go back upstream. So they had to take it by cart. Whatever money they sold the bourbon for, they had to take it up by horse and carriage all the way back up into Kentucky. So bandits would wait on the trail and essentially rob them, right? So what they figured out was we needed faster horses. So that's the theory, apparently, that breeding horses and thoroughbreds and racehorses came from in Kentucky is they had to have horses fast enough to escape these fucking bandits before the steam engine was or the steam ferry that would be able to take them straight back up the river. What fucking river is this? I feel like an idiot, man. I feel like I'm in. So people listening to this are gonna be like, how dumb is that guy? It's the Kentucky River, whatever river.
You see, but that's the kind of shit right there, man. That just the history of bourbon is like American.
Yeah, it's American history, right? Yeah.
Like fucking, like Old Forester, like 1920 was what a medicinal fucking whiskey.
Yeah.
And it's like fucking crazy. Like, I mean, like that shit's fucking history, bro. Like
the Ohio River. There we go. Wow, I'm smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Buffalo Trace was one of them, but I think there was like 6 distilleries still producing today that were granted licenses for medicinal purposes during Prohibition. That stuff's fucking cool. And then the whole Bottled and Bond Act, I've probably told a million times on this fucking podcast, but that bourbon was the first thing to be regulated by Congress.
Yeah, dude, right? It's fucking crazy, right? Yeah.
Which is also pretty cool. So we just got this for our wedding, but this is some 19th century crystal from France. It's from the 1900s. I got a picture of it earlier and I was like, wow, that looks cool. I'm going to drink that, use that on the podcast. And I get home and it's pretty tiny. It doesn't really fit much. It worked. It's fucking dope. 1900 from France, been through 2 world wars.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. But now I need to fill something else up. All right. Wow. My cat is wrecked. Let's go into this guy.
That's actually like great for the price. Just to let Pickle know when he watches this that's what's great for $40.
It's true because
not larceny's good, but it's not fucking awesome.
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, no. Well, so I don't know what you think about larceny, especially the barrel proof. I've never tasted any of the larceny barrel proof. I thought was good. I think it's rushed. I think it's very young tasting. And I think Heaven Hill just did it to say, hey, look, we have a barrel proof.
Yeah. I just bought a bottle of C921, the newer one.
Yeah.
But I got it at, that MSRP straight at 55. That's why I bought it. Dude,
that's not bad. Yeah.
It is decent, but like, it's nothing though.
That's my thing. I feel like they're taking away from their Elijah Craig stuff.
Put
out for their barrel proof, and they're trying to like.
What's all about now? Like, if you get on that release calendar, people are gonna go out and pay whatever. It's just a gimmick instead of just it's just as the prices go up and the demand is high and people are gonna buy the limited.
So that's the thing with the Elijah Craig. Like, so not even that long ago, Elijah Craig was a 12-year-old bourbon, right? Just the standard Elijah Craig was 12 years, was age stated on the actual bottle, and then started getting popular, started depleting the supply. They took the age statement off. They started blending barrels, and now you go back. If you have that barrel proof one, you do have it. If you look on the side, that's a 12-year age stated. So
Yeah.
the only one Elijah Craig still has is 12 years is their barrel proof. It's not their normal one, their regular entry flagship or whatever anymore.
Dude, I got a bottle of the barrel proof in there too. I just bought 2 when I bought the large thing.
Have you had the toasted barrel yet?
Dude, no, because I refuse to pay fucking $150 a bottle down here.
Oh, no, yeah, definitely. I got it. I was lucky. There's a store here in downtown Napa. I know the guy pretty well. When he gets it in, he'll give me that and the barrel proof for like $15 over retail. So I think I got the toasted
barrel. That's not bad at all, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 75 2 years ago. And it's very, very good. But here's what people don't get, right? So pull this guy up here. The toasted barrel. The toasted barrel has become a big gimmick, right? Where you take it out and you put it into a new toasted barrel to do a little finishing, right? Well, the first fuckers to really do it is the Woodford Double Oak.
Double Oak, yeah.
For fucking $45, you're not gonna find stuff that's much better than this. And
nah, dude.
All those toasted barrels and all those double oak barrels are all going for double and triple this. And
dude,
this
you can find
anywhere.
Those
you can find this in fucking Target, right?
Yep.
So that's my point, man. It's like the bourbon industry has created so many gimmicks from the fucking, well, obviously Blanton's was the first single barrel ever, right? Back in, I think, 87 or something.
And I've overpaid for so much Blanton's in the past. It's fucking ridiculous.
I've been so lucky with Blanton's. I don't even buy it anymore. I just gave
I'm
them
just
away.
not a fan. Like,
it's fine, but I think the regular Buffalo Trace is better.
Have you ever had the John J. Bowman?
I sent my brother a bottle. I've never tried it though.
Oh, dude, I think it's better than Blanton's for $40.
Yeah.
Because it's actually a Buffalo Trace product that they ship to Virginia.
Right. Yeah. I did.
So it's just to me, it tastes better than Blanton's, and you can order it straight off the website for $45 and get it.
Really? Yeah, I'm gonna try. There's one right down the street there at the store, but there's a grocery store right next to me that always it's been there since I've been here. I've been going there for 2 years. It's hard to get. You really got to time it, but they always get a shipment of Blanton's in, and they sell it for $63. It just goes so quick because people just. It's the same group of people that show up every day thinking it's there or not, right? But I've been fortunate to get it twice there, and I just give it away. I gave it away for a fucking podcast thing a couple months ago.
But I think when you first get into bourbon, Blanton's is the one that you're trying to get into, right? Like that's the big one you hear about. Like it's Buffalo Trace and fucking Bland. So you're paying dude, down here in Texas, you find a bottle for under $160. It's crazy.
I think Texas would be, but I guess, you know what? I guess it doesn't really matter because it's all allocated, right? Who knows?
Yeah.
What state gets what. And so I was at Buffalo Trace December of 2020. And at the time they were going through this massive multi-billion-dollar expansion. And they're every quarter they were building a brand new storage facility on top of this fucking hill behind the distillery. And they were essentially doubling production. Now, my only question with that is that's cool. That's going to help supply, but is it going to taste the same? Right. Because if you're on that property, every storage facility is a different material from brick to, they've all got different climates in it. None of them are climate controlled. They've all got different humidity levels all different light. Yeah. So I was just wondering, that was my question to the tour dude. I'm like, that's cool, but are you guys going to be able to replicate the flavors? And they're like, yeah, should be able to. And I'm like,
should.
I mean, you guys been doing this for like 300 years almost, man. Like, I feel like we should have a better guess than just
no shit.
But that'd be great if it does, especially if it catches up to supply. I don't know if it ever comes down. Who knows, man? People. Dude,
I don't know. I think people buy it, and there's so many people, as you know, that just buy it to flip it.
Yeah, I hate that.
Like the other day, even online, all these bots that buy this shit to flip it. Like Smoke Wagon had some kind of rare release the other day. I don't know if you saw that. And as soon as they released, all the bottles were gone to fucking bots, and they put out a thing, and they just kicked all the orders back, and ended up doing a giveaway. Yeah, because they saw it was all bought. Dude, it was bought in like 10 seconds.
Oh shit! It
was like something like 500 bottles. The guy had some barrels he had put up, and I don't know the whole deal. But anyways,
weird about Smoke Wagon is because I know they're based out of Vegas, but all the stuff they were selling early on is just sourced from MGP.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're making their own and offering it. Same with Fry Ranch. Have you seen Fry Ranch?
Yeah, I have. I haven't tried it yet though.
Okay, so we went to the distillery. Well, we went to their tasting room / restaurant in Reno for our buddy's bachelor party a few years ago, and the stuff's good. But I just remember I'm like, all right, I don't get it. It's bourbon. Like there was nothing remarkable about it, nothing unique.
Yeah.
That shit blew up over the last year, especially out here. So that's why I don't know how far it's gotten east of California and Nevada, but mean, it's on every shelf, it's on every store, but I still just don't buy it. I don't know why.
It's not on the shelf here, but you hear guys talk about it all the time because their whole stick is like what from grain to bottle, like they do everything right there. I've never tried it, but never bought it. I thought about buying a bottle offline for the thing just to have. Because I'm real bad about that shit. And I always heard the top's real heavy too. Like you can just beat the shit out of somebody with it. Probably do that with any bottle. I'm bad about buying bottles.
Taylor's probably a good beating bottle. Beat them.
Yeah. I think the only smoke wagon that I don't mind is like the uncut, unfiltered. It's pretty decent.
Yeah.
But
I just don't want to spend the money on it.
Yeah, $75 for it. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's honestly what I've gotten into.
Goes, like, have you tried the George Remus?
No, I haven't. I almost picked it up this past week.
That's an MGP product. Like they started making their own, and it's actually the bottle's ugly as fuck, but the product's actually really good. Like it tastes,
MGP makes a ton of great stuff. It's just you won't know it because it's not.
No, because you might end up paying $30 for it. You might end up paying $120 for the same product.
You have to take a fucking risk and buy some. I'm trying to think of what I got back here.
But the George Remus is better than this George Remus Special Reserve. Like I didn't like the Special Reserve. And it was $90 compared to $35.
Yeah. But see, that's the other thing. So you bring up a good point. Like everyone gets enamored with the price point, man. It's no different than fucking wine. Some people think like, oh my God, I got a $200 bottle of wine. And then they try like a $30 bottle and they like that one better. And they feel bad about that. It's like, don't feel bad about it. You like what you like. So buy what you like.
Exactly. Just like we were talking about the other day on Twitter when we were going back and forth, about the Evan Williams. Matter of fact, dude, I was telling the guy at work 2 days ago after that. I'm like, dude, Evan Williams single barrel, what, $22? I was like, dude, it's $22. It's better than a lot of $100 bourbons.
Shit, where'd my bottle go? Oh, wait, it's right here. I thought that was funny that you said. So, like this one?
Yeah, dude, the bottle and bond you can't fucking beat.
Everywhere. Yeah, dude. Out here, at least. And like, this shit's delicious. I'll drink this every fucking day. I go through tons of this stuff, man. I got so much crap back here at this point. I
think when new people come in, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I was the same way 5 years ago when I got in. It was like, you see the price, I was 100. It's got to be fucking good.
Yeah, right.
And then when you really start doing your research, you're like, nah, fuck that. The price doesn't matter. Like it's.
And that's my issue with Garrison Brothers. That's why I'm like,
oh, dude, I totally fucking agree.
I'm buying $85 for just the bottle. Like, especially if the last time I tasted it at a bar, because that's my thing. At this point, I try to find stuff that I can taste at bars, and I'm very fortunate. I'm between Napa and San Francisco, and there's so many goddamn bars that have so much massive select. I can pretty much try everything for decent prices. So I try and take advantage of that and try new things whenever I go somewhere. But it's hard for me to spend more than 50 on something if I've never tasted it before. I just
dude, I do the same thing. I'll go down to like, we have a few bourbon bars, Reserve 101 downtown. They have fucking everything. Whiskey kicks. Okay, I'm thinking about buying fucking Newly toasted, whatever. Let me go down here and spend $14 on a pour or a flight of it, and let me try it before I go look for the bottle or trade for it or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm glad I didn't fucking buy this shit for $60. Or I bought a bottle the other day for $55. It was Whitmire. You ever heard of Whitmire's bourbon? It's local. It's in Texas. So the distillery was started by 2 Iraq vets, Marine guys, right? So that should have been my first clue. But
Horse soldier.
Yeah, dude. But, so I'm like, all right, let me try it. And I heard some good reviews. Dude, I fucking poured the bottle out. Like it was that bad. Yeah, it was that bad. It was just like, I always try to go local, and it's like it always bites me in the ass.
I ain't gonna lie, the Horse Soldier stuff that I've had has been really good. Again, sourced from MGP.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very good. It's very fucking good. I almost picked up 3 extra bottles of it the other day when I was just hanging out at the fucking Air Force PX because they sell it. They have to sell it at retail there, and so their barrel proof one there is for 59, or no, 69. And I find that everywhere for like 100 or more. That's one of the few ones I've never tried. Oh, you should try that one. That one's that's very good. No, I don't know if it's the same support. It's been about 2 years, so I don't know what supply they're on now at this point, because you know how this works, right?
Yeah.
These craft labels come in, they source, and then they start making their own, and sometimes they can't match that flavor profile.
Yeah, it fucking changes.
Yeah. That's a big thing. That's that's what happened to Willet a few years back. So I don't know if you know Willet. They make Noah's Mill and Roan's Creek.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I had Noah's Mill was when I was at Knox in 2016, and I thought that stuff was some of the best shit I ever had. And then I got it. My brother got it for me for when I graduated with my master's. He sent me a bottle. It was like 2 years later. And I was like, this is awful. Like it's awful. Like I felt bad.
Crazy how
like,
a couple of years will change.
And then like the very next year, I went to Willet for the first time to the distiller in the tour, and they told me like, hey, yeah, we exhausted our supply, so we had to start sourcing stuff from MGP while we remake it. And I'm like, and that's pretty damn risky because Willet makes a ton of stuff. No, they don't list it at all. And Willet makes a ton of labels. Like people don't realize how much Willet makes. From pure Kentucky to Kentucky Vantage to like Johnny Drum, like all this stuff that they make, you wouldn't even think it was Willet because you're just used to seeing that big, giant, pretty bottle that looks like which is a great bottle. It's amazing. And like doing the tour, like I think it's really cool. They source all that glass. I think it's from a French glass maker or something. But what's actually funny is if you ever see the Willet, you know, if you go into liquor stores and you see like the little 50 milliliter shot bottles.
Yep.
Their Willet shot bottle is a glass replica of that, so it's just a little small fucking still. It still looks like the big one, and it's glass. It's not like a plastic version of it. It's actually pretty cool. Yeah, so you know, you spend $7 for a shot, but you still get that cool ass bottle. It's actually pretty dope.
Yeah, it's fucking worth having on the shelf.
I think I just poured it out, to be honest. Yeah, my buddy's got me a bottle of it for a softball tournament a couple months ago, and it like the Willet now just tastes like grass. Like I can't do it.
I don't think I've ever bought a bottle of that shit either.
No?
I've always heard bad things about it.
Really? It just depends. Yeah. Like none of them taste the same. And but if you can get the 1.75 milliliter bottle, you can get that for like 70, I think 75, 80. But just that big ass fucking bottle, you can do so much with just the bottle. Just don't.
Dude, I see it every time I go to the liquor stores. I make my rounds, whatever. I always fucking see it.
It's funny.
I'm like, man, that's a cool fucking bottle. But everybody fucking has told me like, don't fuck with it. So
I can't tell you otherwise.
But I'm bad. Like, you know, I'll go out and spend fucking $200 on shit just because the bottles look cool on the shelf. Like, I'm bad about that. Like until about a year or two ago, like I was the problem with like people on the secondary market. I would go out because I was looking for something and I was like, you know what, fuck that. I'm no longer paying the prices. Like I'm not paying these prices anymore. Like I'm part of the problem. I don't want to be a part of the problem if I can't find it.
That's true.
And then like once I got to know people at some of the local liquor stores, like, you know, the owners, and just fucking have, dude, I never went in there and asked for nothing, just strike up conversations or, dude, then they'll fucking, and I remember the first time one of the workers texted me like, hey, we just got Old Forester single barrel and, you know, it's the barrel pick. You want one? I'm like, that's awesome. How much? Yeah. Fucking 55. That's it. Come get out. I'm like, okay, dude, I'm done with second. Like, obviously I'm doing something right. Like, yeah.
It kind of sucks though with this 3-tiered system that you kind of have to build that fucking relationship. But go back to what you said at the very beginning though. It's kind of cool because you talk about the community of those people. Like, there's some assholes involved, right? That just try to rip people off. But when you build like legitimate relationships like that, I know a couple guys up in the Sacramento area when I used to live up there, which kind of sucks because it's just far enough where I don't want to go. Yeah. To take advantage of stuff. But man, I'll see some stuff get posted on the Instagram. And I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to make it in time for it to get sold out because he always sells stuff at retail. Like that was the first time I ever had like the Weller, the 107, it's $30. And now you won't find that anywhere under fucking 180. Like there's no reason to. Like that's the other thing. Like people fell into this, I don't even know, I wouldn't even say it's a myth, but just like this romanticized story of Weller and how it's just young pappy. And I'm like, okay, now you've just ruined it for everybody who just wants to fucking bottle this. Like the Weller Green Label, the special reserve. Oh, the special $20 bottle. That fucking thing goes for 80 everywhere, if not more.
I don't know what it is about here, man, but like I could find that shit any day of the week. Like I could just walk in and there'll be the 1.75 or the fucking 750. Like I don't know what it is about.
What do they sell it for there?
It's $23 and $43 for the 1.75.
Okay, that's how it should be because the 1.75 is, or the one. Notice the 1.75 is right down the store at this store called Bow's, and they have everything, but some of their shit's stupidly priced, and this is one of them. That goes for like, I think, no, it's the 1 liter. It goes for 87.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Texas, but like, you know how different regions, you know how it works.
Yeah, like it's just weird.
You never have a problem here finding Buffalo Trace, Weller. The hard ones probably Blands and Eagle Rare, but like Eagle Rare is like
it never used to be that way, man. Yeah, it never used to be.
Yeah, but I matter of fact, I got a barrel pick the other day. Last week I got a barrel pick from NASA Liquor, fucking $40. So I was like,
all right, check this out. So I got 3 bottles of this. This is the last of my third. So this is a Knob Creek from our bourbon group from before COVID hit. Okay. This is a 15-year-old. This was barreled January 16, 2004, bottled June 28, 2019. So it's a 15-year, the Knob Creek 15-year special warehouse pick called the Third Amigo. You probably can't see that, but that's the floor and everything that it was picked from. What's funny is, no, that's funny. And sitting in front of a bottle of Larceny Barrel. The throw-in when you bought that, because that bottle was like $59.
Yeah.
I bought 3 of them, but the throw-in was for every bottle you bought, you had to buy a bottle of Equal Rare because they couldn't sell it.
Now it's the opposite. Day, we could just, dude. I remember fucking 5 years ago. What was it? 5 or 6 years ago when you could walk in and see George T. Stagg just sitting there.
Yes, this shit. Elmer T. Lee.
Oh, dude, yeah. Which is like the most overhyped fucking. In the fact that
good, but it's nothing to fucking.
I know guys
go broke over.
Like, bourbon group, like here, like the Houston Hounds. Like matter of fact, we just had some barrel picks to just get sold last week, and it's come funny that we just had that back and forth with Pickle about the Larceny, but it was a Larceny barrel pick and a Sazerac rye.
Yeah, okay. Pick. I love Sazerac. I love that.
Which was good, but yeah. What the fuck was I was talking about before?
The Elmer T. Lee.
Oh yeah, but I know guys that have spent like, dude. Sorry, I was $300 on a bottle.
Oh my god.
No. Dude, it's a $30 bottle.
Yeah. So honestly, the first time I ever remember seeing it, and I still remember clear as day because I was texting my brother and my dad in our little chain. When I was at Knox in 2016, I went to the PX for the Class 6, and I was like, "What the fuck is Elmer T. Lee?" It was sitting there for $39. I'm like, what is this? And my brother and my dad, they hadn't heard of it. And I was like, all right, I'm not even going to bother. And now it just cracks me up because I literally clear as day remember it specifically because of the picture of Elmer T. Lee that's on the bottle on the inside of it as it comes into picture as it depletes. And then just the shape of the bottle. I just remembered it for some reason. I'm like, wait a minute. That's the shit that used to be fucking $39 at the damn PX. Come on, man.
Dude, the first bottle I ever bought was to a local liquor store and they had like a lottery.
Yeah.
And so I just threw one lottery ticket and she picked me toward the end. It was like the only one left. So I was like, all right, $39. I was like, it was good for $30, but like, it's not a $300 bourbon. Like,
no,
it's cool to have, but like, I'm not spending that shit. I don't know what the hype was, but you know, everything Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo Trace, exactly.
Yeah. Fucking, it's crazy. And the story of it, right? Like, yeah. As you saw in the Neat documentary where I can't remember the guy's name, talks about his father was best friends with Elmer T. Lee and they were in the war together. And yeah, and he was. I mean, the story's fucking great, but it's like amazing. $300 great.
Right. Sorry. And so that's what you go back to the George T. Stagg you mentioned. Like that's my favorite. Like that is my literal all-time favorite. The 2018 to this day, like I can remember it. Like I can remember every bit of that. Just tasted like brown sugar covered marshmallows is what it tasted like, man. Like I loved it. And the last time I had it was in Vegas in June of 2020. And it was $35 a shot. It was a great bar, great price. Like you get that for $35 a shot today anywhere. That's fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, you're not doing.
I love that stuff. And then the runner-up would probably be this Old Forester birthday bourbon from 2019. It was just randomly at a fucking steakhouse here in Napa, and I got the shot for 48. And I was like, all right, let's fucking do it. And it was so fucking good. But you can't find those bottles anymore, man.
Last week I had some birthday bourbon at the Whiskey Cakes with a buddy of mine. It was like $45 a pour.
That's perfect.
But I think they might hook this because we go like all the fucking time. But dude, I saw a bottle the other day at a liquor store, $999 for birthday bourbon.
Yeah, I was just about to say, if you see it below 1,000, you're lucky. And what's that?
Yeah, it was $999.99. I was like, whoa, bro, like what the fuck?
The problem is though, dude, there are people that spend it.
Somebody's gonna buy that bottle.
There's a lot of people with money, like, and when you really break it down, because I've just seen what living in Napa and her being a partner in a late, like I've seen, like that's nothing when it comes to wine.
Oh, I bet.
Not like $1,000 for wine. That's nothing for one bottle. That's nothing. But that's what's nuts about wine. You get 3, maybe 4 glasses out of a bottle of wine. With bourbon, you get 17 shots, give or take. Right. Exactly. So your return on investment is a lot higher on bourbon. But still, you think about these dudes who can drop $5 to $10 grand on wine like it's nothing. What do you think a $700, $800, $900 bottle of bourbon is for them? That's
ain't shit, man.
They'll buy that shit too, right? Especially if they're into it.
I know one of the stores I go to all the time, man. I was talking to the guy the other day. I went there last week. I go in there like once a week or every other week. I'll do my little fucking rounds just to talk to people and see what's up. Yeah. Dude, he was telling me they had a guy. They did some special orders. He dropped $5 grand on bourbon alone.
You can't compete.
And but I mean, like they get the stuff, but they tell you, hey, you're gonna pay this price, and they usually don't mark stuff up. But if they get you specialty, they're gonna mark it up a little bit. But they're like, hey, man, this guy just dropped $5,000. I'm like,
exactly.
Dude, I spent quite a bit on bourbon, but like fucking not like that shit.
Not like that. No, not yet. That's my goal.
Oh yeah.
Goal.
But
I don't want to be a part of the problem, like you said, though.
One of the things that I really like got me addicted to was just like the chase to find something at the retail price, right? Like to go and talk to these people. Like, dude, I found this bottle of like the other day, a guy hit me up. One of my guys in my group was like, hey man, that Specs right down the road from you.
I heard about Specs.
And he was like, yeah, but here's the thing, they never get shit, right? Like they don't ever get allocated, never.
What? Oh wow, I always heard that was like the spot to check if you're in Texas.
Me and it is like they really don't get a lot of allocated though. It's like if you're looking for stuff that
they probably hide it, so they just don't tell anybody. They don't put it on the shelves.
So he texted me, he was like, hey man, that Specs by your house, they just got E.H. Taylor small batch in. He's like, dude, I'm telling you, there's one case there. Dude, I went down there, it takes me 5 minutes to get there from the house. I was off. Fucking there was 4 left, dude. I grabbed a bottle, walked out, put it in the truck, came back and grabbed another one because it was one per customer. And fucking $39.99. I was like, dude, I'll pay it all day.
So that's funny you say that because when I was at some quarterly training 2 years ago up in Carson, Nevada, there's a Costco there. And I went in, I always go into Costco anywhere I'm at just because Costco gets some really good shit sometimes, especially from Buffalo Trace.
And Sam's Club here too.
Yeah, see, I don't have a Sam's Club membership. I should probably start doing that too, just strictly for bourbon.
Just started, I don't hear, they just like totally expanded their whole bourbon line.
Yeah, because they know they're losing money to Costco. And they got the money to buy all that shit up, man. But yeah, Colonel Taylor was there at the time, but it was one per customer. And I didn't realize it until I got to checkout and I got 4 bottles for me and my buddies. I'm like, fuck. But yeah, $39.99 sitting on the fucking shelf.
Dude, and this Costco here is like this place you get your eWare from. Like, it's almost like on eWare, let me go to Costco. I don't know if people just don't go there here yet and they haven't realized that's where it's at.
It's good.
Or maybe it's the area I live in.
Yeah, you're in those groups.
Yeah, dude, but I'm not gonna lie, but like groups. The Costco I go to, I don't post. I don't post
anything either. I just look and see if it's close.
Yeah, dude. I was like, I'm afraid to post like where I get my Eagle Rare from. Like from that when I do, And then like some of the guys that I've met off fucking Twitter over the years too, like I'll send, it's harder for them to find certain stuff in areas.
Yeah.
I'll pick this up for 25 and I'll send it out that way or whatever.
I've been waiting for him to send it. I hope he doesn't listen to this because he's been teasing me about it forever, but he's got that. So the Evan Williams, they sell a 12-year.
Yeah.
It's a red label, but they only sell it in the downtown Louisville tasting distillery. You can find it online, but it's several $100. And they sell it at the distillery for like $119, I think, or $109. It's good. It's very good, but it's just one of those special things. Unless you go to the actual distillery in Kentucky in Louisville, downtown to their tasting room, they got like this massive, like upside down 100-foot bottle that looks like it's pouring bourbon down into these single barrel. It's a really cool thing. But yeah, you'll never find that shit. And then this is my favorite, and I've been collecting these fuckers. I have my own little storage bunker in here, but this shit has gone out the fucking roof.
Dude, it's crazy. And then that's the one bottle, one of the few ones I've never been able to get a hold of.
Really? All right.
Yeah, I refuse to pay $350 a bottle here for it.
So it's on the shelf right down the street right now at Val's for $2.99.
Yeah.
Stupid. But where I get mine now is the best place I can get it at this point, unless I can hit up my dude in Sacramento when he gets in, but it sells out so quickly. So one of the areas I cover is Vallejo, and Vallejo is a really bad neighborhood area. And there's this one liquor store in the hood of the hoods, and he knows me and my guys because we go in there all the time, and he'll always sell it to me for $129.
Dude, I'd pay that all day.
That's about as good as he can get. So I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go tomorrow. I'm gonna see if I can get one. If I can get one, I'll send it out to you. My treat.
Yeah, I'll pay that shit all day.
Now you just dude, send me the shipping. That's it.
I go to a liquor store called OST, Old Spanish Trail. You can look this shit up, right? It's probably like one of the worst areas of Houston.
Well, you gotta go. You gotta go to the hood.
I've been going for like the last 18 months they open, right? And they always laugh when I come in there. They talk about, hey, they just call me the white dude. And so when I first started going in there, I'm buying bourbon and whatever, and they had a lot of a few years, Maker's Mark come out with their wood finishing.
Yeah.
I had to go there. That's where I was buying it from. They're selling it for $70 a bottle. And the owner was like, man, what do you come in here always buying bourbon? I'm like, hey man, this is what I'm looking for. Dude, he looked at me, he's like, man, my people don't drink that shit. And he's
all like, fine, I'll buy it all.
Yeah, but it's fucking crazy now, right? So now they're holding like whiskey tastings and shit on the weekend. I fucking love, that's like my favorite place to fucking go.
See, but, the word's gonna get out, man. The word is gonna get out.
Yeah, but he always
just make sure he knows your name and your number, so he always never forgets you. You were number
But that's
one.
where I learned, man, a lot. Like liquor stores have to buy a lot of bullshit to get the good shit, as you know, right? Well, they have to buy like, fucking these little travel bottles of Jack Daniels or whatever to get, Jack Daniels.
But that's the thing. People think distilleries just make bourbon. No, those motherfuckers got to make vodka and gins and all that shit they can sell immediately, because bourbon doesn't come off the fucking still in bourbon. It's got to sit and age, and they got to pay taxes on that shit while it sits and ages. Like they're paying taxes on that stuff before they ever get to sell it. And that's why you've got 7 million different types of vodka and gin, because right, like Fireball. You know who makes Fireball, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's where you think Buffalo Trace gets a ton of their fucking money from? All this goddamn Fireball garbage.
Yeah.
They just came out. So when I ain't gonna lie, like I do not like vodka. I just don't. I don't like it in mixed drink. I don't like that. Shit,
I couldn't. Vodka is a young man's drink, dude. Like I used to drink that shit when I first put in my camel pack and just walk around.
It's not bad. I've done some dumber shit, but that's good. But no. So we were at Buffalo Trace and we finally got to the time to do the tasting, and they make this Wheatley vodka. You've probably seen it at stores at this point. It's like a white label with blue letters. It's 10 times filtered, and it's made with, what do they make this shit with? They make it from corn, I believe. It's a corn or lemons. I don't fucking know, but it comes out and it's almost got this citrus taste to it. Just by itself. It's actually really fucking good. I still won't buy it, but it's actually really good vodka. But yeah, it's like, wow, 10 times distilled. I'm like, that just seems like a lot of work. But but distilleries, they don't just sell fucking bourbon and
they gotta fucking make money while their good shit fucking ages.
Yeah.
Like I was at a store the other day, man, and she was on the phone with one of the distributors or whoever, and she was like, they were trying to get her to buy like 10 cases of something at a certain price. And she was on the phone. She was telling them, she was like, I'm not going to sell that. But she goes, then if I buy it, then I get these two. They were going to give her, if she bought these 10 cases, they were going to give her 2 cases of, I can't even fucking remember. She goes, okay, it's $75 a bottle. I'm going to have to mark it up to 120 to even make any money or break even. Yeah. And she got off the phone. I was like, oh, hard day. She was like, I'm not paying that. She's like, I'm not going to mark up the prices, 50% to make money. She was like, it's just ludicrous. And she's one of the places I like going to, because if you walk in, she has more than one bottle on the shelf. I'm like, hey, I've never had this own Granddad 114. She has 5 bottles. She'll open it. And she's really?
Like, that's cool, man. That's kind of like what wineries do. That's awesome.
Let's have a fucking taste, because her whole thing is like, well, you're not going to buy it if you don't know, right? So, yeah, dude. So I continue to go back, and that's like one of the areas that she always do it. And I have to respect the fact that she gets like 2 bottles of Pappy every year, the 23 and the 10 year.
Yeah.
And instead of just doing a raffle or something, here's what she does: $10 a shot, right? And then she donates all the money to a local veterans charity.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, you got my business. No, what the fuck? What else you gonna do?
That's cool.
Yeah.
So this is going to actually help. I don't know if you follow Fred Minnick or not, but he's been posting.
Oh yeah.
He's been posting a little bit about this House Bill 500 that just passed.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so that's kind of a big thing, because when I say the 3-tiered system, for those of you who don't know, like a distillery, a producer of liquor, alcohol, whatever, they can't just sell it to you, right? That's like, they have an MSRP, just like a fucking car has an MSRP when it comes from Ford or Chevy, right? However, it's got to go into the distributor from there, and then the distributor is going to sell it down to the 3rd tier, which is your actual retail store. All along the way, you're dealing with all kinds of fucking price hacks, markups, and all kinds of dumb shit, right? And that's why you can't just go to the distillery outside of the stuff that's at the gift shop and be like, hey, let me buy a barrel from you. You can't do it. You have to partner with a fucking a liquor store, for example, or a major retailer, because they're able to do that. Well, what that bill is supposed to do is afford private groups in order to buy a single barrel, right? Among other things, because what they were trying to do, you had all these other lobbyists on the other side trying to say, well, that bypasses all the fucking laws, and it essentially bypasses the 3-tiered system. And they're like, yeah, that's what we fucking want to do, because you guys are ruining it, right? So no, that's a big piece of legislation, because what's going to allow to, from what I can understand, it sounds like if you and I want to go partner up and go get our own fucking barrel from Buffalo Trace or fucking Wild Turkey, we can. Now, what we do with it from there, I guess that would kind of be up to us and off the books. But you can buy a fucking barrel. That's kind of a big fucking deal.
Yeah, because they were trying to get rid of barrel picks, pretty much.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why they had to come up with this legislation.
And like that's what people look for. That are
they want that. If stuff that they can't get, they want at least something unique, right? And single barrels. And don't get me wrong, like this is what people need to understand. People have been mesmerized by the word single barrel. They think like, oh my God, it could suck.
Yeah,
exactly. Barrel, you can't guarantee what's in that product. It's not like most bourbons that are blended, right? Because you blend to create a flavor profile. So if I buy a bottle of Wild Turkey 101 today and I buy another one 2 years later, I want it to taste the same. And for the most part, it will. A single barrel, I mean, you really have to kind of understand what you're tasting, but they're not going to taste the same. Like these two fuckers right here, like I just did. I'm drinking this one. Well, I was drinking this one before I poured the Stag, but they definitely don't taste the same. No, definitely not. No.
That's why you find a liquor spot that has good single barrels and you just never
But that's another thing that's fairly new though. Like that's probably within the last 2-3 years where I've really seen stores and
then you got groups like we have here, like the Houston Hounds, like we'll get these, you get the samples or whatever, and the guys will go through, okay.
It's fucking cool.
Yeah, dude, like we just had the Sazerac Rye and the fucking Larceny, like the group voted and picked these, right? And you get like 50 cases or 20 cases, I think we got. Dude, people were lined up Saturday morning before the liquor store opened to buy. Like, it's just like fucking cool to think like the community picked these barrels. Yeah, and you want to get rid of that shit? Like fuck, man. Like, I don't think people realize too. Like, I know I've seen the comments because I've kind of like transitioned from really talking a lot of shit on Twitter. Like I've kind of got really bored, not bored, but kind of like
I was done with fall back into this once you get done.
Bored with it, right? So it's like more just me like posting bourbon over the last few months or whatever. And people are like, man, you're just an alcoholic with all this bourbon in this collection. I'm like, dude, no, I really don't even drink that much, right? But it's the community's so good, the history's so good. I enjoy the taste. Like, so when I do drink, I actually enjoy the flavors of it. Yeah. And yeah, man, just stuff like those barrel picks getting together, like the community is so good. Like they're not alcoholics. That's what people don't realize.
No.
They're
it's somehow really... like bourbon's gotten that negative connotation, but no one cares about people who are in like this elite wine cult club.
No, not at all. But bourbon is,
that's cool though. I actually like that. So that's what I love about you were talking about the stories, right? So hold on, let me read this one before I get into change topics here. Have you had Wyoming whiskey yet?
No, I have not.
All right. So Wyoming whiskey, I would highly recommend you go get their flagship. It's like 88 proof. But this one, so I was doing a little cross-country trip back in December and I drove through Wyoming and I stopped in Cheyenne. So this one is called Wyoming Whiskey Hole in the Wall. I don't know if that shows up. All right. Probably doesn't show up. Anyway, they only sell it in Wyoming. It's a Wyoming exclusive, right? So it's 99 proof. And the fucking story is awesome. It's the outlaw trail, well-traveled during this lawless times, and saloons were sought out as the hubs of activity, legal or not. The hole in the wall, originally established as Skinner's Hideout, appropriated its name from the notorious mountain hideout to the east. And so they named the bourbon after this, and they got a picture of the original fucking 8 barrels of our finest whiskey in honor of our legendary past. But this stuff's fucking delicious. But the regular one that you get, because they make like 7 different bottles at this point, just go try and find Wyoming whiskey. It's 88 proof. It's fucking delicious. They make really good shit up there. I wanted to go to the distillery, but it's like way up north in Wyoming. Not exactly on the.
Dude, I'm gonna take a fucking summer off, or at least a month, and just go do the tours. And
there's so many now, man. That's what's great.
Dude,
like,
I got to do.
First off, like I said, you need like 2 weeks on the Bourbon Trail in Kentucky.
I'm going to. Yeah, there's no doubt, dude. Dude, my kids are older now in 3 years when they graduate college. Because I had kids young. I was having kids before I got out of high school. I just started young, right? Like, dude, I was telling some of the guys, like, I've kind of set myself up when they graduate. Like, I don't have to work, and I've kind of been fortunate in that and have a pretty good career and investments, whatever. Like, dude, I just plan to fucking travel and do that kind of shit. But that's my goal. Bro. Yeah, that's my goal, man, is just to go and just fucking do these distillery tours and just enjoy it.
All right. So let me go back to you are, that was part of your bio. People may know you from talking or being an asshole on Twitter, right? So how did you find yourself in some of this stolen valor shit, right? And why is stolen valor important to people, not you and me, right? We get it. We understand why it's important to us. Why is that important for people just listening at home who have no involvement with the military, don't even understand what the fuck that is? Why is that important?
Oh man, I just think it's important because, they're taking valor they're still in the integrity and the valor from the people, like guys that and I know that didn't make it home. The guys that are physically wounded, or I'm sure you have mental scars as well. Like you're still in valor from those guys, and that's kind of the things that always kind of pissed me off, man. And you hear these stories, and you get these guys that tell these stories, and they solicit money, or sometimes tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, like the chick that was running the veterans thing recently, that just one of the biggest stolen valor cases ever. Basically, man, as far as Twitter goes, where I got involved when like I'm always, with my background in law enforcement, like as far as like getting in people's backgrounds and stuff, like background checks, I've always been really good at and have the tools to do it. But basically a few years ago, it's probably been 4 years, whenever Trump first got elected, there was a guy on Twitter. This is where it started with me with stolen valor on Twitter. Progressive guy. And a lot of people would say I'm really progressive when in fact I'm not as progressive as people think. But anyways, he was trying to start this million veteran march against Trump in DC. I don't know if you remember. He had this hashtag.
Yeah.
And dude, so I DM'd the guy, and somebody had some questions about him, and I was asking some questions, and he was like, I got 2 National Defense Service medals.
2 of them, huh?
2, yeah. That was like, I was like 2. He was all like, I'm a Cold War vet. Like all my stuff's classified. I was a Gold Gloves champion. And I'm like, okay. So I start looking the Gold Gloves thing up, and the dude had went in there. As you know, Wikipedia, you can see the IP when people change it. So he changed it, and then I knew his location. And then, dude, I found the real Gold Glove champion. And dude, hit the guy up on Facebook and had a conversation with him. He's like, nah, whatever. We'll do it. And basically researched how to do FOIA requests and got the guy's FOIA. And basically when I posted it, and it was just me, that's how I ran into Red and T and Pickle and everybody, like, I guess in the, that little group or whatever, using that hashtag. And they were like, who's this fucking liberal supposed to call out other liberals? Which I was like, I'm really, whatever. And that's really how I got involved in it, was calling this guy out. And he was taking money from people, and the GoFundMe got shut down, and then kind of just went after that. And I kind of got really good at the FOIA requests and found people at the offices that I could call or email and get the FOIA requests back faster. And it just kind of took off to where it is now, where I do it. But like I said earlier, man, like Twitter's kind of got like, I was going to delete Twitter a couple of weeks ago, and I talked to like Red about it and stuff, and I had downloaded the archive, was just going to delete it and move on or whatever. But I'm like, dude, I got some threads on there that if people need to go back and look, and
you're too big. You're too big now. You got to.
And it's like, so I keep it on there, and if you notice, I post maybe once a week, and it's like bourbon or just it's like, but some of that stolen valor shit, right? Like, it's like, as you know, some of the stuff that recently went on, like, some of your previous guests you've had on, deleted. Well, dude, I watched the whole thing, obviously, for obviously reasons. But
it's gone now. I'm glad you saw it before.
No, what it was like before I ever said anything. But that was one of those things. That was one of those things too. Like, dude, I'm real big on about like right is right, wrong is wrong. No matter if, dude, like, if me and you could be best friends, but I know you're full of shit, I'm gonna call you out, right? Dude, my son could lie about certain, and I'm gonna go in there and beat his ass and fucking call him out, right? So when that happened, and I had been looking into it for months because I knew something was up, and I didn't tell nobody. I didn't tell nobody, that, dude, some of these guys like Red and Pickle and Teresa, like they've become like really good friends off Twitter. Like that's the thing. That's why I stay, really, honest to God. Like that's why I stayed, because of the friendships I met in that, among that community. Like they're real friends. Like there's no doubt in my mind that I could text these people right now and be like, I need this. And they'd be like, dude, we got it. Like we know each other. We know what we do. Like we know everything about each other. Yeah. And so when that happened, I knew there was going to be blowback from that little group of that community, because he had this thing. But here you go. Like I have this proof. I'm going to call you out no matter what. But when I did it, people were like, "Damn, why didn't you say nothing to us?" And it was just like, I didn't want to get you involved and have to pick sides. At the end of the day, throw it out there and you decide what you want to do with it. But yeah, that's how I got involved with it. And that's how I really do. That's really how I met everybody. It just kind of like from when there, and we just, you know, I've always talked shit. Now I just had a group to talk shit with for the last few years. So
yeah, that's great. I think that's how. I mean, that's the same way. I mean, the Red you talk about. Yeah, he's a great friend. Talk every day.
fucking great dude, man. Like,
yeah,
he would give you the shit off his fucking back, dude. And recently, man, like I recently changed jobs, and I not getting into the job thing, but like I reached out to him and asked, you know, his opinion on some of the stuff. You know, some of the stuff he's had to go on, like, you know, dude, you know about the shit with the stolen valor shit, people going after people in their lives, and we've all been there for each other. But dude, you know, a few years ago, like when I met these guys, dude, I went through like I was going through a pretty dark time, and I was pretty open with it on Twitter, just because I feel like, you know, if I can put it out there and somebody else sees it, maybe it gets help. Like I went through a whole inpatient thing. I went through a thing called like the Rover program, which was a 30-day inpatient thing. You're not committed, but you voluntarily go, right? Like it's 30 days for guys, Iraq and Afghanistan veterans. Dude, and every time I got my phone, 3 days a fucking week, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Dude, I always had messages and DMs and texts from like Teresa, fucking Red. Dude, they were always, dude, these guys at the time, they didn't fucking really know me.
Yeah, they just checking.
But they were fucking there. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't dudes, fucking, man. Yeah, they're fucking good dudes. It's like, so I'm not.
Teresa's the last one I'd like to piss off. I think she's the worst.
Oh, dude, but you know, when I read her story, like I'm just gonna be honest, man. Like when I read her story about the opioid thing, right? I don't know if you've ever read it.
I think so, a little bit.
Like she was addicted, like she got hurt in the military, right? Like, dude, when I went to the VA, man, like they just pilled me up. Like, so for 10 years, I'm not even kidding you, 8 to 10 pills a day, antidepressants, anxiety medication, dude. I was just doped up. And so I went to this program and I read that and I was like, man, it really hit home with me. So I went to that program, man. And the first 2 days I was in this program, they started giving us some other medication. There was 10 of us in there. So it was only 10 people in this program. And so every other month they had 10 people come in and they started giving us some weird medication, all of us. And we were sitting in the day room one time talking about it. And one of the nurses, I was like, hey, what are they giving us? She gave me the name of it, dude. I got my phone that night. Dude, Teresa, I hit her up in DMs. What is this? And she went back. She sent me the whole thing. She's like, you don't need to take this. It was for bipolar. It was a mood altering thing. And none of us were fucking bipolar, right? Like we're just, so I refuse to take medications. And then the next guy refused. And well, anyways, they end up changing the doctor. And the guy's like, what do you want to do? I was like, listen, he goes to my medication list. He goes, you're not supposed to mix this or this or this or that. He's like, what do you want to do? I was like, I don't want to be on this shit. So, dude, I went cold turkey off that shit. I had a roommate that was a heroin addict that had been clean for 8 months. About 3 days into the withdrawals, he looked at me and goes, Brandon, like, your withdrawals are worth mine when I was a fucking heroin addict.
What?
Yeah. But Teresa, like, when I had my phone, bro, like, she was always there. And that shit, like, probably changed my whole life. Like, dude, that shit, all that antidepressants I've been on 10 years, dude, like, dude, they had to put so much weight on me, bro. Like, yeah, that's another thing. Like she knows, like, I don't know if you've seen the pictures from previous, like, dude, I was probably close to like 380. I've lost like 180 pounds in the last 18 months.
Fuck, what?
Yeah, but like, dude, I never really posted any fucking pictures other than like here. But like, you go back
the other day where you're 59, right? Happy birthday. That's awesome.
Yeah, 59. Yeah, dude, if you notice, every time I post a picture, I up the age, right? Like, bro, like I'll send you fucking, like, dude, my face was so bloated and shit, but it was from the medication. But dude, this is true story, man. Like, so I was about through 2.5 weeks into the program, about 10 days from off medication, and you get your little fucking 1 hour break or like fresh air walk. And I was walking around the nurse, dude, and it was like fucking blinders came off. Like I had peripheral vision for the first time in like 12 years. And like, I always say it's like the grass was greener and shit, but like, dude, it was like somebody just took the blinders off me. And it was like, cause I was off all that shit. And it fucking changed my life. Is, you know, the attitude's better. It's improved my, you know, work shit or, you know, relationships. You know, it's not like I was a bad guy, but like, now I'm like, shit, I'm going out, doing shit, hanging up. I don't feel like a fucking zombie anymore. But like, to go back, like, dude, all these dudes, they didn't fucking know me, but they were there for me the whole time. And, you know, shit, our relationships kind of just grew from there. And these guys will be friends and forever, dude. I could delete Twitter tomorrow and we're still in contact. Yeah, but don't do that. I'm not. But my whole thing was like, when I was gonna do it, then I see somebody talking shit to Pickle or fucking Teresa. Like, nah, man, I gotta get involved in this shit. You know, like you're messing with one of my boys. So like
fucking Pickle brings it all on himself half the time, though. You know that.
I love that fucking dude. Like he's
a good
he's
dude.
all fucking tough, right? Like you know, and I'm proud of him for getting rid of that lisp he has over the last few years. But dude, he talks all hard, but then when he talks to one-on-one, like he's a fucking genuine dude.
Yeah, no,
and there's no doubt, like dude, he's like 2 hours from me, right? Like dude, like they're all fucking good dudes, man. So and it, like my thing at the end of the day, when it go back to the Stolen Valor thing, is just like it's a whole integrity thing, man. I think it pisses me off more when guys have served and then you lie, because man, you know what it's all about, right? Like you know, like that camaraderie or the sacrifices people have made. Like I don't go out here acting like I'm a fucking war hero, like or shit like that. But like you want to talk shit, like I'll post some shit and then fucking like just like all that shit with that dude from fucking Maryland. He don't even deserve to speak his fucking name. Like fucking you talk all this shit, but post something that says you did anything. And you know, they just all go fucking silent. So yeah, that shit just irritates me, man, because you see guys like, you know, you got guys like some of the friends we have, we know off Twitter, dude, some of these dudes are legitimate badass people.
Yeah.
And they're fucking humble as shit, right?
That's
like
what I don't understand. I think I may have talked about this before, but it's like, why do people get on Twitter, social media, whatever, and try to pretend that they're like Green Berets or fucking SEALs or some shit? Like, why don't you just be like, yeah, man, I served 20 years as a fucking cook. People be like, oh, cool, man. Thank you for your service, bro.
Yeah, dude,
no one would say a fucking thing.
Because at the end of the day,
like
I don't know what it is. Because dude, like I was a fucking MP. Like who the fuck likes the MPs, right? Like, but like at the end of the day, you're all part of the big picture, right? It doesn't matter, like without one of the, you don't, you know, without the fucking cook and without the intel guy and without the fucking, I don't know what MPs really do other than like, but like nobody really fucking works. And like, you know, when you talk to the guys that are, you know, the tier one guys, and that's their philosophy. They're the most humble people you'll ever fucking meet, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've had some interviews, some badass fucking people, dude.
Yeah.
And you know who I'm talking about, that worked for all ages, and you would never know unless you got to know them.
Right.
And they let you fucking in. Like, yeah.
And that's my point. And that's why I don't understand why people try to pretend. Like you're trying to pretend to be part of the smallest community in the military.
They all know each other.
That's the other thing. Like you're if they don't know you, they know someone who does know you or would know you. Like, why? I don't understand that. It's like, and then all you do is open when they double down. That's what cracks me up. That's why I don't know if you've seen this with the shit that you go after for Stolen Valor. No one ever like is like, all right, you got me. They double down and triple down, and they just
dude, I've always said there's like a fucking cycle, right? It's always like, oh, my shit's classified, or you're lying, you hacked me, I'm gonna fucking sue you.
Hold on, before you go any further, if you are, I'm gonna look right at the camera. If you are ever in a conversation with someone who claims to be a military veteran and they say their stuff is classified, that's what we call a red flag.
Dude, 100%. Because dude, as you know, some of these guys that you've even had on here, like they'll fucking tell you like, yeah, my award was for this mission, but it doesn't state what mission it was for, but I still have the award on my DD-240. It's like, it is fucking wild, dude. Or you have these guys that, you know, you get their DD-214s from a FOIA request and they have 2 months overseas, but yet they claim 3 fucking wars and they were blown up by IEDs and shit. It's like,
is that Dunlap?
That shit pisses me off, man, right? Like, because
is that Dunlap dude still a thing?
Oh, you know, I guess he's just one of those kind of guys that sticks around. He's become a fucking big meme.
How is he not homeless? I don't understand. He should have been evicted so many times.
I don't know, man. Like, he fucking went after my kids, man. And
he's a piece of shit. He's really bad. He's a bad
fucking school district, fucking like,
he's a
their fucking mom. Like,
how's that dude not been punched in the face? Why? Where's Will Smith when you need him?
No shit. He slapped the shit out of Kevin Hart last night. That shit was
Chris Rock, not Kevin Hart.
Oh yeah, you know.
Same shit, right?
Yeah, same shit. Yeah,
same
Chris
shit.
Rock, yeah.
Did you think it was real?
I didn't think it was real until I saw.
I didn't either. My first reaction was that's fake.
The cut where he was screaming at him and his mic wasn't on. When he was like, "Keep my wife's mouth or name out of your fucking mouth."
That dude was also just awarded 20 minutes after that the Best Actor award. So I don't really buy him being mad as like proof that he really hit him.
I mean, dude, if you spent the last 25 years of your wife getting railed by other guys and you just had to keep up with it.
See, I'm gonna.
You got Jack Murphy for the last 20 years. Inside baseball, Jack Murphy joke for those not on Twitter. Yeah, so he is.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that part of it alone. I don't know. Like I watched it over and over, and I just can't see that being real. Maybe it was. Maybe it was. I'm fine. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it was real. I just feel like.
But I saw a cut today, man, where like when they went to commercial, that Denzel Washington and Bill Burr were trying to like calm him down.
Well, I can see the audience thinking it was real.
You see,
I'm just
they
saying,
laughed.
like when fucking Rock got smacked, he didn't react. He didn't do shit.
Chris Rock was like, man, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me, and everybody laughed.
Yeah.
And then they cut. But there's a videos where it shows like, I think it was like the Chinese version where they didn't cut away.
Yeah.
And you can see Bill Burr and Denzel Washington trying to calm him down. And he starts screaming at him, hey, keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth. And his mic wasn't on. I'm like, I think this may be real.
Yeah, but, I mean, maybe it was. My very first reaction.
But he laughed. He fucking laughed at the joke.
He did. He laughed at it.
And she got upset.
Let's be honest. That's who the fuck knows what G.I. Jane is at this point? That movie came out in what, the 90s?
Dude, I thought it was fucking hilarious when I saw it. Like, I remember what it was. I mean, as I was a young man at the time, and
no, I remember the movie. I just feel like we probably could have made some more current movies at this point that we could.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, but
that was like the first. That was like the first female version of any kind of military movie, wasn't it?
I think so. And then there was In the Army Now that came out afterwards.
Oh yeah, yeah, one extreme to the next.
I actually like G.I. Jane. I thought it was cool movie.
That was pretty fucking
fake
cool,
as fuck, totally unbelievable at the time. But where we are now, that's where we're headed.
Oh, 100% true. Yeah,
it's gonna be.
If you look at it now, it's like
it's gonna be a G.I. Jane 2. Yeah, shit.
It's gonna be like a documentary.
Did you see the meme? Like when you remember that first like when the first week of the whole war in Ukraine, like there was that. What was that pilot? The Ghost of whatever.
The Ghost of Kyiv or whatever, yeah.
And then they showed like Netflix special coming this summer, and it's like a black female. That's the Ghost of Kyiv.
Whatever, like, dude, I'm be honest with you, man. I don't follow the fucking news and shit like I used to. Whatever came of that?
I don't know. Like there became a lot of pushback. Like it wasn't real, and then there was kind of like some half-hearted acknowledgement that it doesn't matter if it's real, just go with it because it's inspiring the Ukrainians. And then it's just kind of disappeared. Like for the first 4 weeks of the war, I refused to watch. I don't watch the news, period. I just don't.
Dude, I quit, man. Like
I don't watch American news.
It gets so fucking frustrating.
Yeah. Our news isn't news. It's entertainment. Just for your specific brand of politics, it's entertainment for that one, right? So I would watch like France 24 and BBC World News and watch that because they at least still try to cover the news. I don't know, man. Like I got yelled at for this earlier from my last week. Apparently, I was being insensitive about Ukraine. I'm not being insensitive about you in Ukraine. What I am saying is I'm not 100% buying what's going on because 2 points of reference. When we took Mosul, that took 9 months.
Yeah. Fair point.
Now, the defense minister or whoever in Ukraine is trying to say that there's been 13,000 fucking casualties or KIA of the Russians. Well, what were we in Iraq for? Like 11 years, and we lost about 4,400 in 11 years. And you're trying to tell me in 6 weeks there's been 13,000? And you're going to try and tell me a lot of these are being covered up by, quote, mobile crematoriums? Come on. Where's the fucking smoke? Where's the I watched fucking Dexter. Where's the ash? That's what I want to know.
It's all propaganda, dude. It's like
it's a huge propaganda one. I'm not saying there's not some shit going down in Ukraine. All I'm saying is I couldn't go anywhere. You probably couldn't go anywhere, especially in 2003. You had fucking Rumsfeld with you, so I know you couldn't go anywhere without.
Only for a day, though. It was only for a fucking day. So
okay, but you know what? The fucking press was there, right? So where the fuck is the press now?
Yeah.
The press was embedded everywhere. We couldn't go anywhere without seeing a goddamn reporter in a fucking Kevlar on, like, oh, where are we going today, man? Like, we're not going anywhere.
We had dude, early on, we had the lady from us. And dude, when the war first started, like the initial invasion, she was from Lawn and Garden. I'm not bullshitting you, right?
Hey, that's so fucking awesome, though. How gangster is that shit? A chick from Lawn and Garden's like, yo, I'm going to the invasion of Iraq.
We got fucking ambushed. And we come out of it. She goes back, and we go back to buy up. And we used to always get gathered right there on the airfield. And she goes, "I need to go." And she was fucking gone, dude. Yeah, lawn and garden. I was like, where are you from? She's like, lawn and garden. I'm like, who the
That's
fuck?
awesome.
Yeah, dude. It was
That's
just
pretty legit.
yeah, I'll never forget. I have a picture of her somewhere. We took a picture before she left. But like, yeah, dude, it was fucking wild lawn and garden. I'm like, who the fuck? Y'all covered the
The
war?
only
But
thing is like, you know what? And I get it. And I get everyone's making this case like, well, most of that Russian army right now is conscripts and they're not good soldiers. I'm like, all right, I got that. But at the end of the day, we're talking about a division and a half. You're telling me is killed?
yeah.
That's a lot of people. You can't just hide those fucking bodies. Okay.
Yeah, they did be fucking stacked everywhere. Dude, you remember early on in the wars where there's bodies just on the streets?
They're just burning.
Yeah,
Burning
dude,
in
yeah.
fucking tanks and
Like
shit. I see all these tanks on the side of the road or blown up in Ukraine. I haven't seen a body in one of them. Where they at?
remember there may have been pictures I had seen, but I never was like have or anything like burnt bodies like
yeah
on the side of the road.
I had a buddy.
I don't have any of that stuff though. I just want to clarify for any kind of.
So all right, that's a good point. So maybe someone may have had a scan.
I don't want to get Eddie Gallagher or anything like that.
Yeah, maybe there's a disc of pictures at one point I may have looked at.
A disc. I like that. That's how you age yourself on that.
Not a disc, but no. What are those fucking little
thumb drive?
No, not the thumb drive, but the little
CDs.
No, those little.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
SD cards. Those
SD cards, yeah.
That may have had like pictures of burning bodies in Iraqi tanks. You know, like faces completely burnt, melted to the steel. Like you don't see any of that. You just see a bunch of blown up fucking tanks in Ukraine. Where are the fucking bodies?
Yeah, dude. Because you know when you're a young guy, you have a
tank has a tank crew. It's not just some dude on a video remote controller like, yeah, I'm just riding in my tank through Ukraine. No, there's a crew inside that fucking thing. Yeah. I don't see anybody. I don't see any. I'm just saying. I don't know what's going on. I just feel like there's a huge propaganda war, and the Ukraine's really good at running it right now. And I honestly don't know what Russia's doing. Do you? Do you
no fucking clue, dude. I haven't really been paying attention. It's like, I guess I'm just kind of tired of us getting involved in shit that really involves us.
Man, I'm just worried about the mission creep. Because it's kind of what we always do. We just gradually find ourselves into something.
Exactly. It's like, then what happens? You know, after 20-something years of war, it's time to get back.
Right? And I always had this joke when I was a young E2, E3, right? I always had this joke. Like, I look back, I just started reading, like, I think I was in Kuwait waiting for the invasion to start. I think I was in Kuwait reading a bunch of military history. And I was like, man, it always seems like every 20 years we test equipment and tactics.
Dude, yeah.
And like now I'm like, well, holy shit. I don't really want to fuck around and find out what Russia, especially if China enters the chat, but we're about at that point where we need to get back to testing conventional tactics because we haven't done that shit in a while. We've been doing a lot of urban warfare and a lot of like mountainous shit in Afghanistan. And now
that's a different fucking war.
It is.
I mean, than we've been used to. Like that's shit I don't think American public is ready for.
Fuck no. Not with the current military we have. No, we're not. We're
not. I mean, it's different. I had this conversation with my dad the other day, right? Like literally, we were talking about, you know, every generation. You remember they talk about like how each generation gets weaker, right? Like when my dad went in 1975, like he tells me a story how they still fucking slapped the shit out of him, like, and then the next generation, whatever. But like, I can see it now. Like I can see like how every generation, like the next generation is weak. Like now, like just getting rid of shit like the shark attack, or it's like, man, that wasn't a bad day. Like it was like kind of like a rite of passage kind of thing.
Fair, like
you were a drill sergeant.
Well, no, I mean, we still did the shark attack then, but I waited because one of these people I just put in, she just graduated basic training this past weekend. And I was like, you need to tell me what this is about. Because I did read about what they were replacing the shark attack with. I thought and conceptually could be cool. Like they were presenting them with, like, they're not getting rid of, like, you need to carry your fucking duffel bags and we're going to do all this shit. Like, they're initially hitting them with, like, individual movement techniques and problem solving right away as soon as they get off the bus. So it may be kind of cool still. Like, but yeah, there's not 18 fucking drill sergeants all like.
Yeah, dude, I remember.
So it could be cool. I don't know. I'll wait for the report.
I remember my first day getting off of the fucking cattle bus. Like,
oh, I love it.
Dude, I couldn't see. Like, you had one duffel bag in the front and one of the front and the back, right? And I'm only like 5'8.5", and I couldn't see, dude. And I ran into somebody just smack, and I'm like, who? And dude, I ran into the back of a drill sergeant who was yelling at another fucking private. And I was supposed to go to fucking first platoon, and he took the chalk and he marked that shit out and put me in fourth platoon.
That was his, right?
And you know, he never said another fucking word to me to the day we graduated.
That's funny.
And he looked at me because I went to OSET, so it was 17 weeks.
Yeah.
He goes, I didn't fucking forget you. And I was like, this motherfucker. But I also remember standing in that line and we had to put the duffel bags on your form one thing at a time, and him looking at me, where are you from? I was like, Texas, Drew. He's like, there's only two things that come from Texas: steers and
Steers
queers.
and queers.
You don't look like a steer.
That about narrows it down.
Dude, I wanted to laugh so fucking bad, dude. Like, but
I said so.
Dude, I mean, that was fucking. It was hilarious. Dude.
Yeah, I remember. So, our senior drill sergeant, when we pulled up, it was this guy, Drill Sergeant Hunley. And I just remember him. He was from Texas, actually. Drill Sergeant Hunley. He had this fucking chiseled ass draw. He was an older dude. He was the senior drill, so he's an E7. And I just remember him saying, "Welcome to Charlie Company 161. Now get the fuck off my bus." I was like, oh shit. And here's the funny story. That motherfucker was the senior ROTC enlisted instructor at the University of Texas when I was a drill sergeant doing LDAC out at Fort Lewis. And I walked up to him. Dude, I probably had not gone to parade rest since basic training. I walked up to that motherfucker as a Master Sergeant Hunley, and I was like, oh shit. I was at E6. I was like, oh fuck. Hey, Master Sergeant Hunley, this is I'm Drill Sergeant Ski. I was in your basic training company in 2002. And he's like, oh shit, Ski, I remember you. What the fuck you want? I just wanted to tell you I'm here. I'm a drill sergeant now.
Yeah,
too.
what dude, because you never get out of that when you run into him, right? Like,
the Army's so goddamn small, dude, man. I ran into every one of my drill sergeants after
dude,
training.
My fucking dad's been out. Like, dude, he's been retired since I was 15, so 30 fucking years, like 35 years. And dude, he got a message from a guy not long ago. And on Facebook was just like, hey, you fucking changed my life. Like, what the fuck? Like, and then he got a message after that. He was telling me about a guy that when he was a first sergeant at Knox.
Oh shit.
The guy had switched companies, and he was like, man, I wrote this guy, memo and sent it to him. And he talked about when he got there, and he told me, he's like, man, you really helped me out when I got there, or whatever. He goes, man, it's just like that little shit that matters. I'm like, yeah, dude, all these years later, you don't realize. I remember as a kid, man, when he retired, when I was 15, we used to go to Fort Hood all the time. That's back when the commissary was a lot cheaper. And we used to drive 2.5 hours and buy groceries every few months. Like,
that's crazy.
Yeah. Like, but it was like that time with my dad, right? And that's when I heard all the stories and shit. But dude, I remember being at Fort Hood and guys stopped like, hey, Drill Sergeant Neely. And they'd fucking, like, they're like E6s and shit at the time. And same thing with you to parade rest. And he's all like, no, I'm fucking retired. But I'm like, man, you just don't realize how many people you really touch when you're in those positions. But,
yeah, no, it's fucking.
And then he did ROTC, like his last 2 years there, and he was at the ROTC program at Sam Houston, and that's how we ended up in Texas. And dude, those fucking guys, to me as a kid, like at 14, 15, in the Ranger Challenge, like I was the fucking geeky kid, not geek, but like I was carrying the rucks when they got done with the Ranger Challenge stuff, like helping them pop blisters, cutting this shit. Like, dude, those were the guys I looked up to as a kid. And like, dude, he's still in contact. And dude, being in the military and then like serving with those guys was like, man, it was like almost like a dream. Like, but yeah, it's crazy, man, how many lives you touch when you're in that position. You just don't realize it.
It's such a small fucking world, man.
Yeah, dude.
It's such a small world.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, to see it from his view, being a first sergeant and drill sergeant all those years. Dude, I remember being 5 years old when he was a drill sergeant, him taking me, and some of my first memories, like guys that were on when he was a first sergeant, like going in, the guys were on staff duty, playing Skate or Die 2 on the Nintendo.
Skate or Die, like, fuck yeah.
Dude, he fucking, I never forget, he was like, don't let him cry. And he'd go off and do what he had to do. And that's back when like all the barracks was like one floor. And dude, I can remember being 5 years old and shitting in the room with all the toilets against the wall. And that's how, like, the first time I ever saw a naked chick, dude, this is true story. I was 6 years old. My dad was a first sergeant. And the guy, his VCRs first came out, so it's like 87. And he's like, hey, can I take Brandon, show him a VCR? And he was like, hey, when you come in, don't look at the wall on the right. I'm like, all right, I'm 6 years old. Dude, I went in, they had a Playboy centerfold on the wall. Dude, I got scared and ran into my dad's office and hid under the desk. And I remember the guy coming in, and his name was Baker. I'll never forget. The guy had pitched for the Cincinnati Reds, threw out his arm and joined the Army. And yeah, dude, I'm still talking to the guy.
Sounds like me almost. Holy fuck.
Yeah, dude, I still, my dad's still in contact with him. We're still Facebook friends. But I hit under the desk, and I remember him coming in and was like, hey, first sergeant, I didn't meet you. And my dad's like, don't worry about it. He'll get over it. And I remember him having a talk with me, like, don't tell your mom you saw this shit. But I was like 6 years old, dude. And it was like, it was great, dude. Like, it was just, it was a great experience.
Shit, today that chick would have an OnlyFans.
Yeah. Could you even have it up in your barracks room nowadays?
I don't know. There's probably like screens of just streaming OnlyFans accounts on the walls in barracks now these days. Who knows?
Oh, dude, yeah.
It's a different world, man.
I've thought
Think
about
that though.
OnlyFans account. Just
you should.
or something. Feet and taint only.
Fucking, you should. I was going to do OnlyFans and it was going to just be pictures of fans. Like,
dude, that's fucking somebody would probably.
Someone's done it. Someone's probably already done it for sure. Maybe I'll do OnlyFans, but only like, those Japanese fans that fold out,
Yeah. Oh, dude,
pictures of those, like
different color ones every day.
Yeah.
Every week. Yeah.
Like a fan. I'll make my own from a.
I'd fucking pay for it. Of course, I'd pay $160 for Blanton's back in the day.
Yeah, maybe I'll just do that. It'll just be an OnlyFans of just empty bourbon bottles. There's ways to do it. People just think it's negative, like you got to be naked. No, you just got to be creative. Look, maybe I'll just post a picture of a cat over here.
Oh, dude, there's always gonna be somebody out there that's gonna pay for it, though. There's always a market for something. There's a
niche for everything. Everybody's got a thing. Yeah, everybody's got a fucking thing. Fuck. There's one other thing I wanted to talk about. Like, you brought it up, and then I forgot, and now
Twitter. Fucking.
It might have been. Just gonna blame the bourbon at this point. Shit. Don't drink and drive, kids. You might spill your drink. Alcoholics, you might spill your drink. It's very important. Yeah. All right. So, how do I phrase this?
Say it.
How do you feel about the president and what he's out there saying publicly? Like, do you think we're, like I said, I've talked about mission creep. Do you think we're gonna find ourselves in fucking something? Like, what's your gut reaction on it?
I don't know, dude. Like, I'm a pretty realist when it comes to like,
yeah.
Like I was talking earlier, like people till they get to know me, I might think because I've said stuff about GTMO or whatever that I'm like a liberal. Like I'm really not. Like I'm pretty much in the middle. But I'll say this much: is like I was smart enough not to vote for the guy. I'll just leave it at that. And I did vote. So people could take it as one, even though I wasn't a big Trump fan at all. Like I didn't, but
I wasn't either, but
like it's like, every election is you pick the worst, right? You pick, like the better of the two evils.
Yeah. Lesser of two evils.
Yeah. Lesser of two evils. Fucking old granddad getting to me, whatever.
That's what he does.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know if the guy's all there or what, but like some of the shit he's talking about regime change the other day.
Yeah.
It's fucking scary. I mean, like, and I hate to say it, dude, my issue with, shit, fuck, like people talk about like, I was part of that whole lawsuit with Trump on Twitter. I don't know. You probably know about that, right? So when I got blocked early on when Trump fucking thing, right? Like
Trump blocked you?
Yeah, he blocked me, and my comment wasn't even like, it was talking about the Trump healthcare thing, and my question was like, well, now it's not going to cover coal miner or black lung, right? Okay. So my family history comes from coal miners. My dad's father and their mom, right? My dad was the first one that got out of West Virginia and wasn't a coal miner, and he blocked me for that, for asking like, oh, now you're not going to cover black lung for coal miners. Like this is kind of fucked up. And I went to this whole thing, and it wasn't like a fuck you thing or nothing like that. So anyway, when they did the lawsuit, I got a part of that, right? And but my whole thinking behind the lawsuit wasn't, I wasn't like part of the group of fuck Trump, but like that's not why I did it. My whole thing was, if I go to a town hall down here, you shouldn't be able to throw me out because you don't like me because my opinion is not yours.
Right.
And that's the way social media is becoming, the new town hall. Yep. And I think if you're an official, whether you're a right, left, middle, whatever, they shouldn't be able to block constituents. Like if it's your official government account, like you don't like their opinions, fucking mute them, but they should be able to see what you put out. And that's the whole reason I got involved in. But at the same time, like I wasn't dumb enough not to think that he didn't do any good or that he was not better than Biden or less than Biden.
He talked. That was the problem.
His problem was the way he put shit out. Like he didn't know how to articulate shit. But what I did like about him was like, he didn't talk down to you. He talked to you, but he really needed to, he talked too much sometimes, and he should have stayed off Twitter a lot. Like,
he talked too much, period.
Like, because people, like, when it comes to the VA, like, like the VA choice and stuff like that, a lot of that shit happened under his administration, which has become a good thing. Like the VA choice program I use all the time for, I don't know, I mean, hell, you just retired. You'll probably, I don't know if you go to the VA or not, but like, if they can't get you within 30 days, I can go to a civilian doctor and they'll pay for it, right? And that's something that they put under his administration that I don't think he gets enough credit for. But and people get pissed because I just call it like I see it. But like, dude, this administration, man, I don't fucking know, dude. It's kind of scary sometimes because
that's why I say like I don't want to bang on President Biden because he reminds me, unfortunately, of my grandfather who passed away a few years ago. Like his last year. Like his last year of life is kind of what I see right now with President. Like he's like at moments, there's moments where he's there, but for the most part, he's not. You know,
it's kind of sad to see it.
It is sad. I mean, like he can't control it. And what's worse about it is, hey, the president, he's lived a long life in public service. My problem is the bench behind him.
No, dude, I fucking totally agree.
That's my issue. Like I posted a picture of the National Security Council. Like, holy, these are the ones, this collection, this is who's got our fucking national security. Like, really? Because I'm sorry, man. I don't know. Man. I don't know because I know what we're up against. And I have concerns. Let's put it that way. I have concerns.
I think as most people do. Like,
do they though? I
don't know, man.
I still don't.
I think we got to a point nowadays where people are, you know, like it used to be 10, 15 years ago. Like we may disagree, but we can have a debate. And
right.
But now it's like, oh, you don't agree with me 100%. Fuck you. We can't be friends. Like, you know, you're the enemy.
Oh, trust me, going through that right now.
Well, dude, that's what I like. Like go back to like Twitter, right? Like the little group or not little, like everybody's kind of different, like
very different, yeah.
different, you know, races, different religions, different political stances. We may not disagree or agree, but at the end of the day, it's all about right versus wrong, or everybody has their morals. And I mean, like everybody just kind of gets along, and you don't have that now fucking days. And if more people were like that, it'd be so much better. But like people just vote because right or left. They don't vote on the issues, or they don't vote.
Fucking letter next to the name. That's it.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous, and it's gonna be, and it has been the downfall. And it's like, dude, it's fucking, and you see that shit here in Texas all the time too, just because like Dan Crenshaw, like, dude, I talk to people.
That guy. Oh.
Dude, okay, so I live in the, like his parents, like, oh, fuck, people have doxed me.
Is that your district?
People, dude, his parents live right down the fucking, people have doxed me, so I don't care. Like they're not gonna get, his parents only, he grew up where I live at now in the subdivision in the area is, you know, a lot of people don't realize, like, before he was an elected official, you know, he lived with his parents. He didn't work. And, he used to golf here all the time, and my neighbor golfs like every day. He's a retired guy, and they ran him off the golf course. He doesn't come here anymore to golf.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
And one of the other guys off Twitter doesn't live too far from me, and we laugh. I'm like, well, dude, if you ever need to say anything, just come over here right off the 7th hole. We can talk shit to him. And but yeah, he doesn't go. But it's like he continues to get elected because they keep changing the districts. Like now he's got another area, but like the majority of the people here don't want him in office. But they continue to vote for him just because he has that R next to his name instead of just, it's ridiculous, man. But like that, like for him, like, so I've watched, like, I remember seeing him and his wife live with his parents, and then over the last 6 years go from living with his parents to being multimillionaires. How did that happen? How does Nancy Pelosi go from this to tens of millions? You know, I mean, you know where I'm getting at. Like,
oh no, I get it. Yeah, there's totally.
And that's what's fucking like. How are you in office like when you were hot till you're not, Nancy?
I know. Like, I need to almost. I feel like I need to just run for Congress.
Dude, you're fucking. I mean, you're hot now. You won't be by the time you retire.
I know, but I'll be rich. What's
up?
Like,
I was talking to that guy the other day. I'm like, dude, did you look at Nancy Pelosi? Was she young? She was actually like,
she was big. No, Nancy Pelosi was a very, very attractive woman.
Yeah, and very attractive woman. And then. And she's still in office. Like, what? That's the problem.
That's the problem with this state in general. Is but you know, I just wonder, the pendulum's got to swing, and that's what, like, look, bro, I'm not going to be surprised if your state's fucking Democrat in 2024, and if that happens, we're never going to see another Republican president until they all moved out of fucking California at this point.
I remember when I was a kid, we had Ann Richards. I think she was a Democrat. That was the last time we had a Democratic governor.
Really? I remember Ann Richards.
Yeah.
90s?
And then
was it 90s?
I was a kid. My dad was always like real big into politics. So I was watching the news, and I remember that. And then Bush came in. Then That was about the time I think I was in basic, and I just voted for Bush on a ballot just because he was fucking Texan. I didn't know shit. Like I'm just fucking swinging out votes in basic. My dad sent me an absentee vote. I'm like, yeah, he's got my vote. And
I just don't.
But yeah, it's changed. But it's changed a lot here. So we got these areas. You got Austin, which is always going to go very progressive, right? Even where I live out here in Houston, Harris County, it's swinging. You can see, you know, like our county judge is Democratic, which I'm fine with, but like not fine, man. Like I'm I'm an issue guy more than anything. Not just because you have the D, the R, the I, or whatever. Exactly. But like, man, some of this shit's like, dude. For instance, a couple months ago, we had a guy, like, I live in a community. It's a pretty big planned community. It's been around for like 20 years.
Yeah.
It's very well known around. Dude, this guy shot his wife in the fucking driveway. Like, dude, you know he was out the next day on bail?
What?
Yeah, he has a court hearing at the end of April. Yeah, but when this new district DA came in, or the county judge, all that bail reform and, you know, lower stuff came in. So the crime here, as you can look it up in Harris County, Houston, has been high. And a lot of it's from people getting out on violent crimes and going back and recommitting crimes. And this guy got out the next day, like on a fucking $30,000 bond. It's just ridiculous.
See, but that's the fucking, and that's the thing. Like when I had Lafayette Leon a couple months back, like that's what he talks about. You need to be involved. That was a great episode. Yeah, you need to be involved in your fucking local elections.
Oh, dude, that's where it's at, right? Like if you're not gonna fuck, national elections are gonna be what they are, but the local is where it really fucking matters.
And it's weird because I never really realized what he was saying. Like, you know, your local sheriff really does have so much goddamn
dude, the
power.
Fucking school boards, right? Like the school board, like that's where the funding goes, whether they implement this or I mean, it's fucking. That's where it's at. That's where the big change really happens, is your local elections.
That's fucking nuts, man. Like, I don't know, but I just think the way we're trending, I will not be surprised. I don't know who the fucking Democrats going to run, because I don't think, I hate to say, I don't think Biden's going to be alive. And if he is, I don't think he's going to be mentally fit to run for re-election. And, you know, you throw Harris up there as the natural succession. And
you even been seen the last 3 years? I don't pay enough attention.
We don't have anybody, man. Who's going to run on? And that's why I think, like, all right, well, who's going to run on the Republican side? What, Trump's going to run again, I guess, right? Because it ain't DeSantis. If it's not those two, there's no other fucking up and coming Republican.
Yeah, and from people that you probably know on Twitter, that's in the know, in our little, you know, in the group that know him, like, he's not running.
Yeah, he can't.
Yeah. So other than him, I don't know what Ted fucking Cruz, but like.
Oh, God. My problem with Ted Cruz, you're in Texas, maybe you probably know this more than, like, Ted Cruz just, he my brother always used to say he looks like the Night Stalker.
Dude, he fucking does. Like Richard, what was his name? Ramirez.
Richard Ramirez.
Right? Richard Ramirez,
yeah. Ted Cruz's problem is, like, he has to be the guy who's the smartest in the room, but he also has to remind you of it.
Oh, all the time.
He's not likable. He's not when it came to those debates. Like, remember, like, the final three was like Trump, Rubio, and Cruz. Yeah. And Cruz kind of removed himself, and then it was just kind of Rubio or Trump. And Rubio was so dumb that he played right into Trump's hands and, like, tried to be all insulting like Trump was. Like,
yeah, dude.
You just lost it. You just be your fucking self.
I love the debate. Whether you like it or not, dude.
Look at my hands. It's just like, what are we?
Dude, and my thing with Cruz was, right, if you let another man talk shit about your wife and you're not going to say anything, like, I don't have no respect for you. Like, you let the man talk about your wife, your fucking dad killed JFK. You just fucking.
Shit, like, was a weird year, man.
Yeah, it was. Like, but dude, the debates, like, whether you like Trump or not, like, dude, I want to tune in. Like, I tune in more to his presidency than I did.
I honestly think he's going to run again.
I mean,
there's nobody else. There's nobody else. DeSantis has already said he's running for re-election in Florida.
Well, you think, I mean, like, just to be real, the media has never, like, got off of him. I mean, like, it really does benefit him for, I mean, like, as far as whether they'll admit it or not, and they never will. MSNBC, CNN, they want him to run again because that's what they do. Their ratings were up, and they made millions, if not billions of dollars while he was in office. They'll never say that. Dude, when I was in, to go back on the media shit, where I got really done, like, disenfranchised with the media was when I did that whole GTMO shit, and I met people.
Yeah.
Rachel Maddow, some other people I met. And I remember there's a story coming out that GTMO from a reporter, and I reached out to them about, hey, this story come out, this detainee is going to talk or whatever, this got released. And I got an email back, and I swear to God, it said, torture doesn't sell anymore. we don't care. And then
damn, you should print that out and put that on your wall behind you. Torture doesn't sell.
And then I realized, like, and they really hit me like, but they don't give a fuck about nobody. It's all about what's hot at the moment, right? Like, and then I go back and look at, like, when my shit came out, it was at the height of the Obama versus McCain. We need to do something about the past administration, like what Bush did as far as Iraq war and this, right? And that's the only reason it got hot, right? Because anything anybody said before then, nothing happened. Like, I said a thing, they released a story. I woke up the next day, my dad's calling me like, why are you on the fucking page? I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? And that's when I really realized what the media was like really about. It's all about selling. They don't give a fuck about people, dude.
Yeah, what's that old Megadeth line? Peace sells, but who's buying?
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's what we can reduce it down to. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't. And then when I went to MSNBC studios a few times, and they had some documentaries, and then seeing shit like from the inside, and like how it kind of like ran for the little bit of time I was in there, it was just like, yeah, this is all bullshit. Like, these people don't even agree with what they're fucking saying. But yet when the camera turns on, it's like, fucking, we're having this great conversation.
Well, that's why I said it's entertainment, right? Because
I agree. That's why I don't fucking watch this shit anymore.
I don't either.
That's why, like
it's like working for a company, right? Like, look at anybody else who works in a job. They work there because they work there.
Like, how do you have right views but left views too? I'm like, well, because I'm not a fucking idiot.
Yeah, like, because I'm normal. Maybe I'm just a normal person.
Yeah, and I think the most people are that way. It's just like, you've been like, there's no media for you, and you've kind of just been like pushed to the side because it's either extreme left or this extreme fucking right.
Yeah.
So, and if you're a Trump
supporter, that's what's blasted out into social media, right? Like, you have to be on one side. I've been saying this forever, man. Look, we're a nation of probably 340 million at this point.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that, hey, everybody on this side of the room or that side of the room with R or D, like, that's not realistic.
Yeah.
There's got to be, we need a viable third party. We really do. We need something. We can't just keep doing this whole Republican Democrat bullshit.
But the two parties get together and they shut out the third party every fucking time. I mean,
I know. Like, think about how far ago, like the last time we had a legitimate third party candidate who really took, right. That was 92.
Yeah, that's what I remember. That being really took. I remember my dad voted for him. I remember him talking about this.
My dad voted for him too.
Yeah, my dad I remember 12 years old, and him having these conversations with me about the two-party fucking system. I'm like sitting there playing with my fucking G.I. Joe. I was like, what the fuck is old man talking about, right?
He legit took like 19-20%. Like, that's probably the only reason Clinton got elected. Like, Bush was probably going to get reelected for sure.
Because he had his own fucking money.
He was a billionaire. So like, imagine being a billionaire in 1992. Like, that's imagine that.
My ex-brother-in-law worked for his company and was like high up and like was really good friends with him. And he used to tell us like wild stories about how he took care of them. I'm like, this guy, like,
I gotta look this up because I remember I actually bet I bet my dad in 1996, and I was just young and dumb just to oppose him. He's like, I was like, I bet you $20 Bill Clinton beats Bob Dole. He's like, fuck that, I'll take that bet. And then when he beat him, he gave me those $20. He's like, I just want you to know this was really important to me. And I was like, fuck, now I feel bad.
Dude, I remember that.
But I got $20 in 96.
Yeah.
1990. Hold on. Let me do this. And then we'll get out of here. Presidential election results. I'm such a good search termer.
You need one of those guys like fucking like Joe Rogan has, like Jamie in the back. Just like,
I know. Hey, well, I got this cat. But the fucking cat's been asleep for the whole goddamn thing. Goddamn.
I had to like fucking shut the doors so the two cats didn't run in here.
Yeah, look at this shit, right? Okay, so percentage of the vote. Bill Clinton had 43, George H.W. at 37, Ross Perot at 18.9. So like I said, basically 19%.
Yeah.
Popular vote, 19 million. 39 for Bush, 44 million for Bill Clinton. Electoral votes. That's the thing, though. He had 0 electoral votes, right? Because he didn't win a state, but he was enough to influence it. And then Clinton won 370 to 168. Like, it was a blowout. But man, if the winner who gets 370 electoral votes, that's a fucking blowout, no matter what, right? When it comes to elect. But if the winner gets 44 million votes and some third party dude who gets no electoral votes gets damn near 20 million. Come on,
There's
man.
a problem with the system, bro.
Right? No, there is. That was 1992.
And
That's 30 years ago, man.
Hasn't fucking changed.
It's fucking a generation and a half.
You know, when you grow up, they fucking teach us like vote, one for one matters. And then when you vote on these presidents, it doesn't work that way.
It only matters in what district.
Like let's like in some states, like, you know, where you're at, like if you don't fucking vote, if you do vote, it's still gonna go, you know which way it's gonna go.
Well, that's my issue with this state is fucking Republicans don't vote. They just complain.
No,
and I say this, here's why I say it. You go back and look at the last two elections. The state of California has probably had half the turnout on average than the state of Florida with twice the population. Because you know what? Republicans don't fucking vote here. Everyone votes in Florida.
Because they feel like even if they vote, it doesn't fucking matter.
That's dumb. That's a sellout mentality.
Yeah.
And then I got to drive.
There's so many people that do that. All I do
is drive through California sections of the farmlands and the northern parts where like, yeah, state of Jefferson or Trump flags everywhere. I've never seen a goddamn Biden flag or poster or anything in this fucking state, but I know he won. All I see is Trump shit or state of Jefferson all throughout, even in Southern California, where it's mostly Democrat. Northern California, outside of the Bay Area, is very mostly Republican, right? Congressman McClintock, the Placer County, huge far right motherfucker, like great conservative, strong Republican, huge conservative district. These fuckers still don't vote. They don't vote. That's why I said a population of 40 million, you might get a turnout of 10. Meanwhile, the state of Florida is right around 26, 27 million, and damn near fucking, they all vote. They double the voting.
But I mean, I've always been a fan of like making like special presidential election like that Tuesday a fucking holiday so people can vote.
No, fuck that. Not even a Tuesday. You make that bitch on a fucking Friday and it's a 4-day holiday. You announce results at 8:00 on fucking Monday night.
Because I think there's a lot of people that
needs to be a fucking holiday. Why do we?
I agree with you. There's a lot on a fucking Tuesday. A lot of people fucking work. Like the
Everyone,
common person
should be working.
Yeah, you know, exactly. But dude, here's the deal, and it's just being real, right? Like when it comes to the Democrats, like it benefits them to keep people down because they're going to continue.
It's identity politics. It's identity politics.
Yeah, man. And then people get pissed when you say that, but it's like it's fucking true, bro. Like they continue to give you money because they just want to keep you where you're at. But no, I've always been pro that too. Like make it a fucking holiday so the common person can go fucking vote.
It's the easiest bipartisan, or it should be. So it probably won't be, but it should be the easiest bipartisan vote in fucking Congress. And why does no one throw this up there? Why does no one offer this as a bill? Why is this not proposed? But I don't care what congressman does. Let it be a fucking Democrat. AOC, she wants to get more fans than she already fucking has. Tell her to do this shit. I'll fucking vote for it.
Yeah, give me a fucking paid holiday. I'll fucking go vote. Like,
of all we just created Juneteenth. Why can't we have a fucking election holiday, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we create fucking...
We make holidays up all the time. Let's just fucking make an election day, a fucking federal holiday. It's a 4-day weekend. It takes place on the second fucking Friday in November. And we announce the results at 8:00 Eastern on Monday.
Because like, who really wants to get off at 5:00 or 6:00 on a fucking Tuesday and then go stand in line?
It's Tuesday. Who wants to do anything on a Tuesday? You're just looking forward to fucking Friday.
Especially if you got a fucking family, you have to go pick up the kids from daycare. Like
you either got to go before work, which no one wants to do. You either got to go while you're at lunch, which no one wants to do, or you got to go after work, which no one wants to do.
Nobody wants to fucking do.
And then you got people trying to tell you that, oh, they can't vote. They're being discriminated against. Oh, come on, man. Like voting in this
is so
goddamn easy, man. It's so goddamn easy. Anyway,
I don't know. I just show up with my fucking ID and check my boxes.
Seriously, like it's harder for you to probably order a bottle of liquor off the internet than it is to go.
Dude, you gotta fucking be here to fucking sign for it.
Yeah,
and fucking do all that.
Seriously, like you know how hard it is to get this goddamn fucking 1900 French shit today. We had to fill out a form, hold for redelivery at the post. Like these fuckers are trying to send it back to France. Like, bro, just trying to pick up our shit. What's up?
Dude, I don't know how many times I've ordered bourbon offline off a site or whatever. Somebody sent it. Like, you got to be, they won't deliver. You got to be here. You got to be 21 to sign for it. And it has, fuck, dude, it's a fucking hassle.
But if I want to vote, apparently all you got to do is just show up. But
just fucking show up.
I don't, whatever.
I think the last time I voted, when I just showed up and told them, I don't think I ever showed up. You know what? I don't think I showed up. I think I just told them my name and my fucking address.
my last 2 elections have been absentee because I still vote in the state of Florida, but I haven't been.
Oh.
So I do absentee ballot. Probably doesn't get counted anyway, but whatever.
Well, I just fucking go because it's more like we were talking earlier, like for the local shit, like the school bonds and shit like that, that fucking matter. Like the district I lived in just spent $26 million on a fucking stadium. And
for high school?
Yeah, dude, this fucking.
Well, it is Texas. Y'all take that shit serious.
Dude, I'll have to fucking. Well, they built it was a few years ago, like, but I'll have to take pictures. It's better than some college stadiums. It's got suites and shit in it. Like, it's fucking ridiculous, man.
For high school football.
Oh, dude, but we got Katy not too far from here, and they have a crazy facility too. Yeah, then they complain on the other hand about like, hey, we got overcrowding at the high school. You just spent $26 million on a fucking stadium.
Yeah, why did you build another school? I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
All right, man.
All right, bro.
Grant and Neely, there was bourbon. All right, we did a lot. I did a lot. I did multiple Colonel Taylors. He's down that fucking. I didn't even see him drink it. That's weird. I don't must have missed it. Colonel Taylors are gone. We got into some Wyoming fucking hole in the wall.
Put that down on the list.
Dag Junior. Yeah, look that one up. All right, man. There will be bourbon. We'll do this again next week. We got some cool shit next week. So yeah, thanks, buddy.
All right, man. Take care, bro.